info by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye-bye baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story details on 2 tornadoes that hit Wisconsin last night.
I'm Julia Fellow. The storms are not over.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Right now, looking okay. We got a little bit of a backup southbound 43 from Keefe down through the Marquette interchange. Westbound 94, we got backups from about 30th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side slowing down just before Mitchell Boulevard all the way to about 35th. And we've also got southbound 41 heavy from 145 down to the Appleton Avenue area. Northbound from Mayfair Road up past Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, the Fox River in Kenosha County, and the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg. The rest of southeast Wisconsin under a flood watch. Tonight, another chance for rain, a low of 47 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the National Weather Service confirming an EF2 tornado touched down in the village of Lisbon last night.
Emergency crews say no one was hurt, but there's heavy damage to homes, commercial facilities, and other structures in the area. That includes the Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Pastor Sarah Knowles telling WTMJ.
I've already had so many members of the faith community from different traditions reach out. I feel very supported. We feel very supported. And again, I feel like the church is going to go on.
Waukesha County Emergency Management and crews with the National Weather Service will continue to assess damage throughout the day. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
It is still a very busy day for meteorologists after severe weather. Tim Hallbach with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee tells Wisconsin's Midday News tornado ratings are based on damage assessments.
If I'm looking at a building and I see the roof is completely gone, there's a certain damage indicator that we put to it. So is it like a factory or like a 2-story house? And then from there, we're able to get an estimate on the wind speed.
Hallbach says the longer a tornado's on the ground, the longer it takes to determine the rating.
The U.S. is ramping up economic pressure against Iran.
It's called Operation Economic Fury.
This is going to be the financial equivalent of what we saw in the kinetic activities.
Secretary Besson says it includes freezing funds from the Iranian leadership held in international banks and imposing more sanctions.
We have told countries that if you are buying Iranian oil, that if Iranian money is sitting in your banks, we are now willing to apply secondary sanctions.
At the same time, the U.S. Navy continues its blockade against the Strait of Hormuz. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
Today's the day, the deadline to file your federal tax returns, and the White House is doing a victory lap. News Nation's Libby Dean.
The White House taking this victory lap on tax day, given that a new tax legislation that was signed into law last year by President Trump's here at the White House. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent called that policy implemented a home run, given millions of Americans have made use of it, specifically that portion about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. But all of this in that briefing room and tax day as a whole pretty much largely overshadowed by the war with the U.S. and Iran.
Rising fuel prices are one of the biggest concerns for Americans.
Coming up, the Brewers look to snap a losing streak.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:04.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com. SaveBigMoneyOnTheClothes.com.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Save big money on everything at Menards. Brighten up your garage or workspace with a 6,000 lumen 3-panel LED light from GT Light. It's over 7 times brighter than traditional incandescent light bulbs and features 3 adjustable panels, allowing you to shine light where you need it most. Save big on GT Light LED utility bulbs. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers aim to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. After an 8-2 start, Pat Murphy's Brewers are now 8-8.
You just got to get through it, and you got to be strong, and you got to show them, like, look, we got 140-some games to go, and we're hurting right now. But the way we battled revealed our character.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The University of Wisconsin is on the hunt for a new athletics director following the departure of Chris McIntosh. Former AD Barry Alvarez believes it's among the most attractive jobs in college sports.
Tremendous university, great city to raise your family. Your fan support is there. That's a pretty good start. And you have a reserve in your athletic department, which nobody has.
McIntosh begins his new gig with the Big Ten Conference May 1st.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 3:07.
Hi, this is Brittany from the Neal Group with today's tax tip. Remember to keep receipts and documents to support the numbers on your tax return. Also, keep a copy of the return you filed. The IRS has 3 years to audit your tax return and ask you for proof of a deduction or income claimed. The state of Wisconsin has 4 years. Lack of substantiation could result in not only additional tax due, but also interest and penalties imposed on the additional tax due. Imagine having to pay an additional 20% or more in penalties plus interest for 2 or 3 years. For more tips, or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's nealgroup.net.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
Boy, was it nasty last night.
I know.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was okay. I got home, though, and I could see the skies near Menominee Falls really bad. And as I pulled into the driveway and opened my garage door, it started to pour. As I got into the garage, it started to hail, so I was safely inside the garage.
Wow.
It was dicey. How about where you are?
My husband was looking out the window hoping that the house that we're looking at had some hail damage so the roof would be replaced.
Yes. There's a lot of people actually like that.
He was like a dad looking out the window with his hands on his hips. I'm like, don't wish that.
Was there hail there?
No, nothing. Very low rumble.
Yeah,
Scared Murphy.
We got a little bit of hail. All right, that's actually part of the 3 at 3. Let's get to it.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News.
So the National Weather Service confirming at least 3 tornadoes, are assessing the possibility of others. The one everybody's really talking about was an EF2 that hit Lisbon Presbyterian Church. No one was in the 169-year-old church when the damage occurred. Oh, boy. Baseball-sized hail, shattered windshields, damaged cars big time. At least 20 Wisconsin counties are now under flood warnings. Some rivers expected to reach major flood stages in the next several days. 25,000 Wisconsin utility customers lost power during the storm. It was scary. It was loud. Lots of Wisconsinites spent a good chunk of yesterday evening in their basements. I was in Waukesha County, and our house, as you watched Niznansky on the news, which we were doing, they broke into coverage, was right underneath the Hook Echo. And it was loud. It was roaring in our neighborhood. It was kind of scary.
I saw that. I said, that's where John is.
It was, right? Like when he was on the full screen, it was like, that's our neighborhood. You could literally see the streets. But fortunately for us, everything was blowing around, but no real damage. And there's the chance for more storms today. As a matter of fact, as I look at the radar right now, out in far eastern Iowa, marching into the southern part of our state, there is more rain. Meteorologist Craig Copleen takes us inside today's severe weather chances. That's at 3:35.
Number 2, a big chunk of ice pierced through a woman's roof, but it was not weather-related. A large chunk of what appeared to be dirty ice crashed through the roof of her backyard living room. It happened on Friday, about a half hour outside L.A. It left a hole in the ceiling, debris across her room. The tenant says it looked like an explosion and noticed a foul smell coming from the ice. The homeowner said she checked online flight tracking data and saw a plane flying directly overhead at the time.
Whoa.
Now the FAA is going to investigate, and officials say it's a miracle that no one was hurt. The tenant just stepped away moments before the impact.
That is scary. That's intense. And the third in the 3 at 3, Julia, 2 Wisconsin waterways are among the country's most snake-infested waterways. This creeps me out. World Atlas, who monitors these things, says Door County and the Mississippi River in Wisconsin are among the places with the most snakes. Ugh. The diverse Wisconsin ecology, they say, means there are many types of snakes in our state. Listen to this list. All these snakes live in Wisconsin. The eastern ribbon snake, the central rat snake, the eastern Muswauga snake, the gopher snake, the North American racer snake, eastern hognose snake, prairie ringneck snake, timber rattlesnake, northern ringed snake, common water snake, eastern milk snake, common garter snake, larger, eastern fox snake, DeKay's brown snake, the red-bellied snake, and the smooth green snake. They all live in Wisconsin. Snakes freak me out.
One of them's leopard printed and is venomous.
Yeah, 2 of them in our state are venomous. The rattlesnake and the eastern Muswauga are both venomous. So, fortunately, there aren't a lot of either of those sorts of snakes. It is 3:13 at WTMJ. Debbie helps get you home up next.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here. If you're anything like me, you've been just a little obsessed with the Royals, the traditions, the secrets, the history behind those palace walls. Now imagine this. You're in London with me, watching the changing of the guard in person. The pomp, the circumstance. You step inside and come face to face with the crown jewels. Later, you're sitting down for high tea, soaking in it all. That's exactly what we're doing with the British Crown Experience with Fox World Travel and Insight Vacations. We're not just visiting England, we're stepping into its history. Walk through Oxford's century-old halls. Stand in awe at Stonehenge. Experience royal history as it actually happened. And here's the thing. Trips like these don't come around, and spots go quickly. If this has ever been on your family's bucket list, don't wait. Visit foxworldtravel.com. That's foxworldtravel.com or 866-GO-FOX-GO. 866-GO-FOX-GO right now to reserve your spot. I would love for you to be a part of it.
Truth Nation, it's that time again for the Tory Low Community Cleanup. Mark your calendars for Saturday, April 18th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. as we come together to clean up the city of Milwaukee. Be part of making a difference in our community. The Tory Low Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th, 8 to noon. Sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, Steinhoffels, Cousin Subs, Waste Management, and presented by the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District, your clean water partner, serving greater Milwaukee for 100 years.
Traffic and weather begins with Debbie Lazaga. Hey there, Deb.
Hey there, John. Well, eastbound 94, we've got some delays coming in from just east of Holly Road all the way to 35th Street. Westbound's backed up from just west of 27th Street all the way to about Holly Road as well. Southbound on 41, we've got backups heading through from about the county line down to Appleton Avenue through that construction zone. The northbound side also slowing down from just before Mayfair Road up to Burleigh. 43 southbound also going to be a bit heavy from Locust all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
WTMJ 5-day forecast, a flood warning in effect for parts of our area, Dodge, Jefferson counties, Kenosha counties, and a flood watch in effect for the rest of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, more rain, a low of 47. Tomorrow, rain, a high of 61. Friday, storms come back at night, a high of 77 on Friday. Saturday, rain early in the day, a high of 60. Sunday, it really cools off. Sunny, but a high of only 48 degrees. All right, I'm going to encourage you to text the word watch for this next segment, watch, to 855-616-1620. You can see the show. You can also always check us out on YouTube. We are there. See what's happening in the studio. Hang out with us, comment with us. You just search the word 620 WTMJ, the words 620 WTMJ on YouTube. Subscribe today. It's easy. It's free. Check us out on YouTube. Okay, so a couple of years ago, I noticed that my friend here at the station, Greg Matzik, had some really cool shoes on. They looked really comfortable. They looked kind of cool, and I liked them. He said they're called Allbirds. They're a sustainable shoe. I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. They're very comfortable. They look nice. And so I went online, and I bought some Allbirds. I bought a couple. I'm going to bend down right now and take my shoe off really quick. So I want to show you this shoe because it ties into the story. I never thought I'd be holding my shoe up in the studio. So this is my shoe. This is the Allbird shoe. Okay, it's a nice casual shoe. You've seen people wearing these kind of shoes, right? Okay, so that's the shoe. Here's the story. Allbird exploded on the scene. Now I have one shoe on in the studio. Allbirds exploded on the scene. They had an initial public stock offering, and the stock was at $15 a share. Well, then a lot of competition came in. Nike, others, Crocs started making these same sort of shoes. And the stock at that time went up to $600 a share. Oh. Competition came in, and it crashed. It went down to less than $1 a share. I mean, it slammed to an absolute halt. They were trying to figure it out. They basically realized that they were likely to have to go out of business. The stock was at under $1 a share.
That's brutal.
Guess what they decided and announced to the world today?
They're going to a clothing line.
Even more drastic. They said, we're not doing shoes anymore. We are going to become a company that makes intellectual property for AI, like computers, data systems, nothing to do with clothes, bags, shoes. They're going to be an AI intelligence platform. They're a shoe company. So that's what they're up to now. They say, you know what? We got to try something because we're not selling shoes anymore. And they were the most popular shoe brand in the world 5 years ago. So now they're going to be an AI company. They're pivoting to AI infrastructure. They're keeping the same staff who are shoe people.
That's weird.
Who are now going to work in AI. So I was like, is there any way this works? The stock is up 700% today. Now, it was only at like $1 a share, so that's not a big number still, but it's up 700%.
So it sets like $7.
Yeah. Wall Street loves the idea, though. Like Yahoo Finance and CNBC both had articles today about good for Allbirds. They have good management. Maybe they'll figure this out. So the shoe I was just showing you and I dropped on the floor is now no longer available for sale.
That'd be like
at
us
all.
switching to a surgical team or something.
Right, right,
Has
right.
nothing to do with what we do.
So can they figure it out? Do they make it work? Wall Street, at least today, thinks it's a very interesting idea. So I also went on the website today. I was like, oh, this is probably now the time to buy more shoes, right? They must be putting everything on clearance if they're not going to make shoes anymore. They're not. It's all the same price. So I probably need to check back, right, the next couple of days. I mean, they're going to need to liquidate everything.
You can sell your old shoes on eBay.
It's in pretty good shape. Maybe it's vintage now, Julia. I have vintage shoes. It is 3:19 at WTMJ. Okay, did you all out there hear Brewers fans booing our closer, Trevor McGill, yesterday? Were you at the game? If you were, would you text us or call us? We'd like to talk to you. Were you at the game yesterday when Trevor McGill got booed? What do you think of that? You need to call quick. Segment's up next, 855-616-1620, 855-616-1620, and what Pat Murphy, the manager, had to say about all of that right after the break.
Some of our customers want a glass shower door for the look. Some want it for a better use of their space, while others need a new glass shower door just to be safe. Like a customer we had last month. Her daughter had been hounding her to turn that old bathtub of hers into a walk-in shower. She was afraid her mother might slip when there was no one around to help her. Stepping over that bathtub wall isn't exactly safe. And besides, those old bathtub floors can be kind of slippery too. Installing a new glass shower door is pretty affordable. And not only is it safer, but it also gives your bathroom a great new look. And when you stop in our showroom, you'll see just how many options we have to give you the look you want. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. And glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. What if your screens could disappear until you needed them? Well, they can. Meet Pella's 250 series style windows with the accordion hidden screen. Gives you a clearer view, 40% more light than conventional screens. I love this. The hidden screen appears when the window opens to let in fresh air, then tucks away when you don't need it, giving you a view that's clear, beautiful, practical, even easier to clean. The right windows and doors can improve comfort, boost energy efficiency, and upgrade your home's overall style. This is the thing with Pella. They're always innovating. I talked to Gina Della about this just yesterday. That innovation and customization is at the core of why Gina's teams are absolutely the best. If you've been putting off replacing your windows and doors, now's the time. Right now, Pella of Wisconsin's offering 0% interest financing all the way until 2030. That's right, 0% interest until 2030. Certain restrictions apply. Offer ends April 30th. Set up your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com. Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. You know, I always tell people if you're even thinking about a vehicle, you got to stop by Griffin Ford. They make it easy. They've got the greatest selection, the best service, sales staff that won't pressure you. It's just easy. And right now, over 250 new Fords in stock, plus hundreds of pre-owned certified vehicles. They've all been checked out. Whether it's the fuel-efficient Maverick, the family-ready Explorer, which I love, or the legendary F-150, America's best-selling truck for over 49 straight years, they've got it at Griffin Ford in Waukesha. And I love that they offer every powertrain option, gas, diesel, hybrid, even electric, and they've got retired service loaner vehicles right now, so you get a nearly new car at a used car price. And don't forget, Griffin Ford wants to buy your car. Bring it in for a no-cost appraisal. It's easy. They're paying top dollar right now. Located at 1940 East Main Street in Waukesha, it's my place. Griffin Ford, huge selection, great people, a dealership I trust.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, so last night, a deflating loss. The Brewers lose 9-7 in 10 innings against the Blue Jays. And the closer, Trevor McGill, for the second time, maybe in a week or in the homestand at least, he blew the game in the ninth inning. He just had a really bad night. He's had a good couple of years, but last night it was bad. So he's out there, the Crew's in the lead. He cannot lock it down and secure the game. And the boos rained down on the Brewers and on McGill. McGill's out there on the field trying to do his job. He's not having success, and the crowd really booed. Pat Murphy, after the game, before reporters could even bring it up, addressed it himself. This is what Murph had to say about the boos.
These aren't machines out there. These are people. And I thought that was in poor taste, but I've done things in poor taste too, so I'll forgive them.
That's not all Murph had to say.
For them to be booing them up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure. We have the great fans. But let's remind them of that. Are they okay to be disappointed? But sometimes young men go through tough stuff. I was disappointed in that those people wouldn't support him when he's going through that stuff.
All right, so were you at the game? Did you hear the booing? Did you boo? What do you think of this? 855-616-1620 is the talk and text line. Scott is in Milwaukee, and he's with us this afternoon. Scott, good afternoon. Thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, good afternoon. I was at the game last night, and normally at the last inning, we walk down to the first level, and there's a place where you can stand right behind the seats, and so you can see the pitches coming in, and you can hear those fans a lot. And to the right of me were three younger fellas that were extremely vocal, had loud voices, like really loud, and it was, seemed like they had too much to drink, and those were guys that were booing McGill. And like when he first came out, there was some trepidation, and he walked the first person, and so everybody was like, oh, they were kind of nervous, but there was like 3 or 4 people right there that were obnoxiously loud. And
what do
they
you
were
think,
booing,
Scott? What do you think of booing one of our guys when he's struggling?
That's terrible. It's just, that's our team. You should be encouraging them. And so I agree with Murph. I guess you're at the game and you got the right to do what within limits to voice your opinion. But these guys were, I think, just over intoxicated, and being so close and so loud, I think that maybe it misrepresented what really was happening at the stadium.
Hey,
as
Scott,
a
thank you
whole.
for the
I think
phone
a lot
call.
of people-
We appreciate your perspective.
Wow, thank you.
It wasn't just 3 drunk fans. It was a lot of people that were booing last night. I think fans have the right to boo. They buy a ticket, but I don't like it. I don't do it. That's someone's son out there. That's someone's dad out there, potentially.
That's our team.
That's our team.
What are you doing?
We're 16 games into the season, and we need this guy. We need him to perform.
Yeah.
We need him to feel loved.
If that wasn't love, that's going to make me more of a loser.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I just don't like it at all.
You kick them while they're down? Isn't this supposed to be your team? I did not boo. I think that his rooting creates more negativity to the pitcher. That would mess with his head. 920.
And it's just not too cool. So Rose Gray has texted in. She's a big Brewers fan. I was at the game. I was embarrassed. Do the fans think he wants to perform poorly? I get you buy a ticket and have the right to boo, but it was embarrassing. Rose nailed it. That's absolutely it. This is our guy.
Okay, here's a 414. So what? They're highly paid. Boo-hoo.
Okay. So, hey, you who just texted that, you make more money maybe than the guy who delivers your mail or picks up your garbage. Does that mean income is an equator to whether you get booed or not?
It's really mental. Oh.
Right. Now, what about the next time he goes out there? He's going to have that in the back of his mind. Of course he knows he let us down.
He's got to zone them out.
It's
and
just...
it's your own fans.
Right. It's inappropriate. It's really just inappropriate. It is 3:27 at WTMJ. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Pretty good day. The NASDAQ up 376. That's really good, 1.5%. The S&P was up 55. That's almost 1%. That's really good. The Dow was off a little bit, down 72 points. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference with Annex.
Your financial life is not just about numbers. It is a journey, and Annex Wealth Management aims to help you move through it with clarity. When markets shift, it can be hard to understand what it means for what you have built. Annex offers guidance as a fee-only fiduciary firm, which means their recommendations are built around your best interests rather than commissions or product sales. Annex gives you access to a local team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, investment managers, estate planning attorneys, and client service specialists who work together to create a strategy tailored to your situation. They help clients with investment management, retirement income, planning, tax coordination, estate planning, education funding, and business succession strategies. Annex knows there's different financial plans for different stages of life, and they can help you adjust as things change. With nationwide accessibility, Annex blends personal attention with leading-edge tools to offer an experience built around informed decision-making. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
From the leather aspect, leather has a lot of natural characteristic in it.
Ben and Arvid Huth, brothers and owners of Penny Mustard Furnishings.
And the leather suppliers, they disclaim, right? This leather is going to have bug bites. It's going to have maybe barbed wire marks, what have you.
Branding, there's brands in a lot of the
leather that comes from certainly out west.
Right. Where they're still branding
Where
cattle.
they're still branding cattle will have branding marks in it.
But if you just sit and watch a cow, she scratches on everything. They do.
Walking over to a tree and going like this.
Just like they're 1,500 pounds. They're pushing on that tree or pushing on that fence. You wonder why they got marks on their body.
I love that in leather. When I see a leather
yes.
sofa that has natural markings in it, I absolutely love that.
See more at pennymustard.com.
That leather lives on for a long, long time with these furniture.
Right.
A long, long time.
Yep.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Hurt at work? Call Tayback for the payback. An injury at work may leave you eligible for compensation benefits, including lost wages, coverage of medical bills, or a cash settlement. Call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: plans to send more troops to the Middle East.
I'm Julia Fellow. Storms caused significant damage to a church in Sussex.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, westbound on 94, right about at 13th Street. Looks like we got a broken down vehicle off on the right shoulder. So watch out for that as you swing onto westbound 94 from 43 southbound, which, by the way, happens to be pretty slow anyway from Capitol Drive pretty much all the way down through the Marquette. Westbound, by the way, more delays from 27th Street to Hawley Road. The eastbound side slowing down from just before 70th Street all the way to 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Flood warning is in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, the Fox River lower near Munster in Kenosha County, and the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg. The rest of southeast Wisconsin is under flood watch. More storm chances tonight, a low of 47.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, President Trump says Operation Epic Fury could be ending soon, but he also plans to send even more troops to the Middle East. News Nation's Jessica Cartalia.
The Washington Post reporting that more than 10,000 troops could be deployed in waves. So 6,000 sailors aboard the USS George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group, and then another 4,000 Marines later this month. U.S. Central Command says that the blockade of Iranian ports is still in place in the Strait of Hormuz, and a U.S. Navy destroyer intercepted multiple tankers trying to leave Iran, ordering them to turn around. But despite this show of force, some ships, including Chinese tankers, are still able to move through the strait.
This comes as talks are ongoing to possibly schedule new peace talks between the U.S. and Iran.
Crews are out in full force across Waukesha County following another round of severe weather.
Storm damage is scattered across Sussex after strong winds tore through Tuesday night, leaving trees snapped, branches covering the ground, and power lines down near Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Crews were seen working to stabilize a fallen power line stretched across the street, keeping it from hitting the ground again. Pieces of the church were blown across the property, and nearby homes also saw damage, with trees knocked down behind and in front of the houses. One church elder tells WTMJ the building dates back to the 1800s and says the damage is heartbreaking, calling the church a place that means so much to the community. In Sussex, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
With rain expected to continue through the week, Milwaukee's water reclamation system will once again be tested.
By Wednesday morning, the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District's Jones Island facility was already over capacity, with the Deep Tunnel and South Shore facilities at more than 3/4 full. Additionally, MMSD is investigating 5 sewer overflows centered around areas that saw much of Tuesday night's rain. A combined sewer overflow dumping untreated water into Lake Michigan hasn't been ordered yet. The last overflow, following August's historic flooding, saw a record 5+ billion gallons of wastewater sent out of the system. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
While tornadoes are not in the forecast for tonight, the potential for severe weather still continues. Storm Team 4 Chief Meteorologist Brian Isnansky tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
We're looking at more of a straight line wind, hail threat again, and probably not the baseball size hail that we saw last night, but more in the way of maybe peaking out around golf ball size. So I would say the window for severe weather will be, for the most part, between like 7 and 11 o'clock in the evening.
And we have an update with WTMJ meteorologist Craig Coplain in a matter of 5 minutes.
Police are investigating a deadly shooting in Milwaukee's Harbor District. It happened about 7:45 last night near East Greenfield Avenue and South First. A 35-year-old victim died at the scene. Police are still searching for a suspect.
The Ozaki Interurban Trail in Mequon is closed because of flooding. It has broken the trail. Mequon's Public Works Department says the road has collapsed on the trail just north of Highland Road and west of Cedarburg Road, making it impassable. Barricades are up to block the road. Traffic has been rerouted.
Time for another TMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The NFL Draft 1 week from tomorrow in Pittsburgh. The Packers currently own 8 selections, including number 52 overall in the second round. And the Brewers hoping to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight in Game 2 against the Blue Jays. Pat Murphy's crew is 8-8 on the season.
There's a lot of fight in them. When you got the guys we got out of our lineup and the guys we got out of our pitching staff, you have to put guys in positions they're not comfortable in. Our guys never quit. That's the bottom line. It's a tough one to handle.
Our coverage of tonight's game starts at 6:05 on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Hi, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Most contractors cut corners and disappear when there's a problem. Not us. Since 1997, we've completed over 60,000 projects, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and were named 2025 Roofing Magazine Contractor of the Year. We set the standard for exterior remodeling. Trusted by homeowners, proven every single day. We're excited to show you why choosing Infinity means peace of mind. Visit infinityexteriors.com to see why your neighbors trust Infinity.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Once again, there is thunder and lightning and big storms in western Iowa. I feel like this has become a daily appearance in this pattern that we're in. Meteorologist Craig Copleen, who was with us yesterday, helping to guide us through what ended up being really heavy weather, is with us again. Craig, good afternoon. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Good afternoon to you.
So we want to talk about this afternoon and evening, but first a couple of questions about yesterday. Sure. It sounds like the National Weather Service is confirming a couple tornadoes and looking at the possibility of others. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. We've got a confirmation of the tornado touchdown there in the Sussex-Lisbon area. Also a confirmation of a touchdown in Marquette County near Endeavor. That's northeast of the Dells, north of Portage along I-39. And the Weather Service personnel continue to be in the field this afternoon, checking out the area from East Troy over to Waterford toward Summers and Carthage College there, just north of the city of Kenosha, where we had indications of a potential third tornado last night. That hasn't been confirmed yet. We're waiting to hear back from them.
Wow. What about tonight? Is there a tornado chance?
I'm not going to say there's not a tornado chance, but there is much less of a chance of tornadoes tonight than there was last night. There is a threat of severe thunderstorms tonight that could produce high winds and large hail. But the whole scenario, the whole atmospheric setup isn't quite as primed for very damaging thunderstorms as it was last night. Tonight, I am more concerned about more flooding. The entire area is under a flood watch, meaning that there's a potential for flooding virtually anywhere in southeast Wisconsin. And with the storms tonight, whether they produce any damaging winds or hail or not, there's certainly going to be some areas of torrential rain again. So we could again be dealing with street flooding and problems with driving in parts of the city, and also rivers and streams and creeks overflowing their banks during the overnight hours tonight into tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that flooding. I mean, I look at the warnings and the watches that are out now, Craig. They're throughout southeast Wisconsin. They're creeping into central and northern Wisconsin. It rains a lot in the spring around here, but this seems excessive. Is this
I don't
worse than usual?
I don't want to start comparing, the scenario we're in right now to last August's flood yet.
Yeah.
But we're trending in that sort of a direction, because not only are we going to be dealing with more rain and thunderstorms tonight, and I think it's going to be the first half of tonight, to be specific, from maybe about 6 or 7 p.m. until around midnight or so. But then we're going to have more rain tomorrow morning. I don't expect that to be heavy, but another round of scattering
Oh, it looks like we lost him. If we get him back, I just want to tell you, John, I have a friend who lives in Cedarburg and in Thiensville area, and the river there, oh my goodness. The Milwaukee River near Cedarburg, whoo, it is really, really high.
Yeah, that's one of the areas that's actually under a warning right now, that exact area. Potential flooding likely to be the biggest issue for several days. So tonight, the meteorologists are saying that there will be heavy rain, that is almost certain to be a thing. The severe aspect of this, if there is one, more likely to produce damaging winds and large hail than it is to provide tornadic activity. But the tornadoes are definitely possible. So to look at it in a little more detail, this pattern we're in still provides the chance for rain, and a lot of it in the next few days. Storms tonight, a low of 47 degrees. Chance for showers and storms again tomorrow, a high of 61 degrees. Then it warms up on Friday, and the elements are there for possibly more severe weather on Friday. High of 77 during the day. Rain and storms are likely at night. On Saturday, rain early in the day, a high of 60. Sunday, it's going to be much colder. So I told you Friday, the high is 77. On Sunday, the high is 30 degrees cooler. On Sunday, it's going to be sunny. Things will dry out a little bit, but a high of only 48 degrees. So heavy weather.
Yeah. It's 3:41 on WTMJ. You know, we had a lot of reaction with the Brewers, Trevor McGill being booed. And mental health is a really big issue in sports. And that's what's coming up next. We're going to be talking about the NFL with Jason Wilde.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the NFL requiring full-time mental health professionals at every team facility. First time that they're doing this. What does that mean for teams like the Packers? I love Wilde. He'll be with us up next. You're right. And we'll also ask him about the draft. What are the Packers likely to do in the draft, which is a little more than a week away? Jason Wilde with us up next on WTMJ.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Spring Black Friday sale is going on now, which means it's time to shop unbeatable spring savings store-wide while supplies last. Like 25-quart bags of Miracle Grow potting mix, 2 for $12. 30% off select men's and women's Columbia apparel. Men's full blue denim jeans, just $10.99. And assorted bags of grilling pellets or buy one, get one free. Don't miss the best prices of the season during our Spring Black Friday sale only at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
When I first started Abbey Home 16 years ago, I only chose windows that I'd put on my own home. The same holds true today. Triple pane, lifetime warranted windows that are of the highest quality, made for our northern climate. Get them installed the right way from Abbey Home and never have to worry about windows again. Right now, get 20% off all windows. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbeyhome.com today. Or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
Connect Chiropractic has been voted Milwaukee's top chiropractor by Milwaukee Journal Sentinel readers. They're nuanced, they're gentle, it's no twisting, cracking, popping. That's not how they roll at Connect. They help with headaches, sleep concerns, neuropathy, of course, all the stuff with your spine. They are full service with a focus on wellness care and helping people do the things that they want. I love the team there. That's so much about your doctor, right? Bedside manner, how they are with you. They never make you feel rushed at Connect. Dr. Alex, Dr. Austin, the docs out there are incredible. 3 locations make it easy and convenient, Tosa, Delafield, and Oak Creek. It's Connect Chiropractic. Connect with Connect.
Who's hungry? Lake Geneva Restaurant Week is back April 18th through the 26th, and you're invited. For 9 delicious days, dozens of the area's top spots roll out special breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus packed with flavor and price to impress. Whether you're craving a cozy cafe vibe or a night of upscale dining, this is your chance to explore it all. Dig into participating restaurants, menus, and all the mouthwatering details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Get started with your no-hassle refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Traffic and weather is sponsored by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects.
Debbie Lazaga, how are the roads right now at 345?
We've got a crash northbound on the Rock Freeway, right heading into the Hale interchange. The two right lanes are blocked right now with this. We've got a lot of emergency crews on the scene, so everybody's kind of shifting over towards that far left lane to try and get past this. So be prepared for some delays through there. On westbound 94, we've got backups from about 30th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Eastbound's backed up from just before 70th to 35th Street. Southbound 43 backing up from about Keefe all the way down through the Marquette. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Hey, want to bring in our friend, Jason Wilde, 9 a.m. to noon, Wilde and Tausch, great show, ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, thanks for being with us.
Who is this?
Hi, Jason.
Who is this?
I don't recognize these voices at all.
We miss you.
Great
It's good to have you on.
Yeah, I was glad to see your text, John. What's going on? What can I do for you guys?
Hey, we want to talk mental health in the NFL and how the NFL is taking this head on. To get into the conversation, though, we want to ask you a couple baseball questions because it ties into this. It's booing at the Brewers game last night. Trevor McGill blows a save, has a rough outing, and gets booed at American Family Field. Here's what manager Pat Murphy had to say.
For them to be booing him up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure. We have the great fans. But let's remind them of that. Are they okay to be disappointed? But sometimes young men go through tough stuff. I was disappointed in that those people wouldn't support him when he's going through that stuff.
You know professional athletes better than the rest of us, Jason, because for a living you talk to them and you interact with them and you build relationships with them. When players are getting booed, when players know they're already having a tough time and not doing a good job that particular day, how tough is the mental health part of it when they need to deal with guys who usually cheer for them turning on them?
Yeah, it's first of all, you have to remember that as a reporter, I've lost my fan gene, right?
Yep.
Like when I was 10 years old and the Brewers went to the World Series in 1982, I was crying my eyes out when Gorman Thomas struck out for the final out of Game 7. When the Packers played the Washington Redskins at the time in 1983, it was the first time I got to stay up for Monday Night Football, and it was the greatest Monday Night Football game ever, and that was a big deal to me. But somewhere along the way, probably around 1991, when I was a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin as a reporter, it gradually dissipated. Now, what I would say about professional athletes is each of them probably respond differently, right? Just like you, with all the success you've had, the two of you, maybe criticism of the show or whatever else hits you differently and you're able to brush it off or you take it to heart, whatever it might be. I think that's true of athletes too. Some will take that booing as motivation, right? I'm going to show these people. Others, it could have a negative effect. Certainly when you're already struggling. My only point that I would say, and I'm not here to tell fans how to behave, it's not my job, but I very rarely can think of an instance where booing a player is constructive and helpful. I mean, obviously I've done a lot of coaching in my day, mostly with young people, but I've always thought that delivering criticism, you have to make sure you do it in a constructive way that's helping them. It's not out of frustration or it's not out of anger, because I don't think you're helping them develop that way. These guys are obviously full-formed athletes, full-formed adults, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings. And I just don't see how that helps Trevor McGill be more effective. He knows he screwed up. He knows he's not pitching well. But that, again, that's from the clinical perspective of a reporter and not the emotional perspective of a fan, which, of course, is short for fanatic.
Yeah, exactly. Going to the NBA, Michael Jordan was just interviewed, and he was talking about how he wanted to, especially with the Knicks games at Madison Square Garden, he wanted to get the fans out of the game immediately. Now, these are your own fans. And even Giannis went through this where they were getting booed when they were down, what was it, more than 30 points? And then he started booing
Giannis
them back.
booed them back.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Jason, I guess to your point and Julia's point, if a guy doesn't run out a ground ball, then you can more easily make the case to boo him.
Effort.
If a guy breaks the bat over his knee after he strikes out and then flips off the crowd, you can make that case. But if the guy is struggling, he's already hanging his head. He's already trying to do his best.
You're standing in the middle of the entire stadium. Oh.
It's just, I think
the man
Murph
in
said
the
it.
arena.
Yeah.
And look, and again, it's a totally different thing when, to Julia's point about Jordan wanting to shut the fans up, like he took motivation from that. I mean, he tells the story about in Utah, some of the things that were said to him during those finals. Like, yeah, for sure, that's a different kettle of fish. That is motivation. When it's your own people, it is harder. But again, I'm not saying we need to start a GoFundMe page for Trevor McGill's feelings, because he is a professional and he is handsomely paid. I think one of the biggest things that I try to do in my job, though, is try to remind people that listen to me talk or read what I write or see me on television, is that these are real people too, right? These are real human beings. That I know they have helmets on. You don't see their faces often in the case of NFL players, but these guys feel the same things. And I get a very unique ability to get to know them as people because I see them every day. And, yesterday the tailgate tour leaves and, Randall Cobb is there. James Jones is there. Two guys that I loved covering. And, they at least they acted like they were excited to see me, right? Like we built a human connection. That didn't mean that if Randall Cobb or James Jones dropped a critical pass late in the game, I was going to ignore that it happened. I'm paid to ask the difficult question, but what I've always tried to do is ask it in a humane way, understanding what they're feeling, but also understanding that I have a job to do.
We have Jason Wilde on the Talk and Text line with us. Now, the NFL is requiring next season full-time mental health professionals at every team facility. Do you think that situations like these in other sports is a great example of why that needs to happen in the NFL?
Well, I mean, first of all, and I know that the Packers already have someone in that role, and they believe that it's really important to do that. And we can talk about him in a second, but kind of the overarching part of this, to me anyway, is you've had two players now that were in the NFL or on the precipice of it commit suicide in recent months, right? The guy from the Cowboys and then the Vikings player. I mean, this is a reality. This kind of stuff does impact real human beings again. And so I don't think it's noteworthy that they've mandated it. I think it's noteworthy that it took them this long to mandate it. Like, we've been talking about the importance of mental health for a really long time. And it's about time that the NFL got around to making sure that they're proactive about it. Now, the Packers team, I think his title is the Director of Performance Psychology and Behavior or something to that effect. His name is Dr. Chris Carr. And he's not allowed to be interviewed by us, but he and I have had a number of conversations in the locker room. He knows that I have young athletes and I've coached a lot, and he's a fascinating guy to talk to. He is certainly there to help guys through their difficult moments, whether they're struggling with performance or struggling with something else, whatever it may be. And if you talk to guys on this team, they all swear by him. Like, he holds little workshops where you're welcome to come. You're not required to come. He has one-on-one meetings all the time with guys. I know Josh Jacobs is one of the players that has really talked about how valuable he has been as a resource. So, again, these guys are under immense pressure. This is not even getting into the concussions in the NFL and how those may affect your thinking and the way they may affect the anatomy of your brain. So I think this is a long time coming, and I'm glad that the NFL is finally taking greater steps toward doing this.
Jason Wilde with us on WTMJ. Draft is coming up in 8 days, Jason. We don't know if they'll draft for need necessarily, but what are the Packers' biggest needs, do you believe?
Well, they need more picks for one, John.
Yeah.
They don't have a first-round pick, obviously, this year or next year after the Micah Parsons trade, and I don't think anybody would say that was a mistake given the production they got from him before he tore his ACL. But they definitely have wanted to accumulate more picks because, to your point, they do have a lot of needs. I'm working on my position-by-position analysis of where each position is, and they need a backup quarterback. They need another running back to complement Josh Jacobs. They've traded one wide receiver and lost another one in free agency. They're not as deep as they were when we were talking about how many great receivers they thought they had. They need help at tight end behind Tucker Kraft. Their offensive line has zero depth right now. So the good news is they can probably take the best player available every time they pick and most likely fill a need because they got tons of them on defense as well.
How's Micah doing?
He's good. He's, of course, guys, when they're rehabbing, you know what they're always going to say, right? Oh, doctors tell me I'm ahead of schedule, right? That's the famous line. Nobody ever says, yeah, they're telling me I'm about 6 weeks behind schedule. It's not I'm not where they wanted me to be. I don't think, he had said that he did not set the first game of the season as his goal because he suffered the injury on December 14th, and it took a while for them to do the surgery. His goal is to play before the end of the month of September, and I think that sounds, based on the conversations I've had, it sounds like a realistic timeline.
ESPN's Jason Wilde, always great. Jason, thank you so much.
I look forward to your next text, John. All right, take care, everybody. Be good.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Medical College of Wisconsin plans to open its first student housing in spring of 2028. Plans to advance the 4-story, more than 260-unit building, which will rise on a parking lot owned by the college, are headed for a city review. Wisconsin Stamping and Manufacturing is investing $12.8 million in a new Hartford facility. The company plans to construct and occupy an 80,000 square foot building on Innovation Way by the end of 2027. Messer Cutting Systems sells its Menominee Falls campus in a sale-leaseback deal with an affiliate of Alligator Holdings LLC. The deal closed on April 10th and was published the same day by the Wisconsin Department of Revenue. I'm Logan Hansen from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invest it in something you'll actually see every day. Your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait. This offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand. $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Hey, tough discussions happen in families sometimes. Like you're looking for the next step, the next place that mom or dad or grandma or grandpa are going to live. Let me give you some great advice. Check out the place. Understand what the culture is like. At Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, their mission is to actually transform the culture of care, how they take care of people, how they view people. I've been in Azura's facilities many, many times. It's about compassion and empathy. It's kindness at the core. They actually specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms. Daily assistance that's above what you'll get anywhere else. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, Wisconsin-based. Family-owned, it's Azura.
Spring has arrived in the Geneva Lakes region, and there is no better place to welcome the season than the award-winning Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy lakeside dining at 1878 on the lake, golf for all ages and abilities at Majestic Oaks, relaxing spa experiences at the award-winning Calidora Spa, and endless recreation opportunities along the resort's 2 miles of shoreline on beautiful Delavan Lake. Plan your spring getaway today at lakelawnsresort.com and come find out for yourself why everything is better at the lake.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers the professional grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Traffic is sponsored by MW Marine. Get out on the water.
MW Marine.
Ready for the water? Shop 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats powered by Mercury. Lock in your deal now and hit the water sooner. MW Marine.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyle's back. Track. Bye-bye baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 4 o'clock. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: an EF2 tornado rips through the village of Lisbon.
I'm Julia Fellow. Dispute over Wisconsin tax relief package.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Southbound on 43, still a heavy ride from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. A little bit more delayed from Lincoln down to the KK River crossing. We still have this accident with the 2 right lanes blocked northbound on the Rock Freeway heading into the Hale interchange. Those lanes blocked are causing some big delays all the way back to the county line, all the way into the Hale. So give yourself tons of time or maybe avoid that area at this point. We help you out a little bit. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, the Fox River in Kenosha County, and the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg. The rest of southeast Wisconsin under a flood watch. Chance for storms tonight, a low of 47 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, an EF2 tornado confirmed in northern Waukesha County last night, touching down in Lisbon with winds of 120 miles per hour. Tornado was on the ground for 6 minutes. No one was hurt. Structures were damaged. Nancy Tesloff is with the Lisbon Presbyterian Church.
I am devastated. This church has been here since 1857, and, well, it's still standing. So that's a good part about it.
A second smaller tornado was confirmed southwest of Endeavor in Marquette County.
As the National Weather Service surveys the damage, crews say everyone they've talked to in Lisbon was severe weather prepared. Morning coordination meteorologist Tim Hallbach tells Wisconsin's Midday News.
One family talked about they were down in the basement, tornado hit, and all of a sudden they had water coming in to the basement while they were sitting there. And they came up and looked upside, and they saw that there was a big hole in the house and just water pouring in because after the tornado hit, there was like 2 hours of rainfall.
Hallbeck says last night's storms were so intense because dew points are at record highs for this time of year.
A federal jury finds that Live Nation and its Ticketmaster subsidiary had a harmful monopoly over big concert venues. CBS News' Allison Keyes.
Live Nation Entertainment owns, operates, and has an equity interest in hundreds of venues, and its subsidiary Ticketmaster is considered to be the world's largest ticket seller for live events. Legal analyst Lori Levinson says,
we can expect that when the jury finally takes a look at the damages here, it could be a huge amount.
The jury found that Ticketmaster overcharged customers just under $2 per ticket in 22 states. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
Live Nation could be forced to split from Ticketmaster.
Some Wisconsinites are wondering if they'll be getting any property tax relief.
During an event earlier this week, Governor Tony Evers says discussions are ongoing with Republicans in the Assembly and Senate when it comes to a tax relief package.
Well, we're still talking about it before they disappear completely from
from Madison. We need to get that done.
The governor and GOP leaders want to use some of the state's budget surplus to help lower property taxes. Republicans have proposed sending one-time rebate checks to residents, but Evers previously shot down that idea. Both sides seem to still have differing views on how the money should be distributed. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
With the future of its star player in question, the search is underway for the next head coach of the Bucks.
We are thinking about this over the course of the long term.
Milwaukee Bucks president Josh Glessing understands that as part of the interview process, candidates will likely inquire about the future of Giannis in a Bucks uniform.
What you don't want is someone who says, I'm only coming if I have this, or I'm only coming if I have that. You want someone who says, I'm committing to holding people accountable, and an ownership group that's committed to providing the resources to do that, and I think we've got that in place.
Giannis has 1 year remaining on his current contract. Has the franchise determined if keeping him in Milwaukee long-term is the best option?
No, we haven't.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Per NBA rules, Giannis is eligible to sign a contract extension October 1st.
Coming up, the hunt is on to replace Chris McIntosh.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:05.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here. You know I'm obsessed with all things royal, so we're rolling out the red carpet to personally invite you on the British Crown experience with Fox World Travel and Inside Vacations. We're talking about the changing of the guard, the crown jewels, high tea, Stonehenge, Oxford, the full royal treatment. This isn't just a tour, it's history you can feel. I hope you join me. Visit foxworldtravel.com or 866-GO-FOX-GO, 866-GO-FOX-GO.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected variety Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 80% lean ground beef, $4.49 per pound. Fresh red seedless grapes, $1.99 per pound. 46-ounce selected varieties Tropicana lemonades or punches, 2 for $5.
Safe.
What?
It's a long fly ball.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods' ultimate fan experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Ah, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers aim to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays. After an 8-2 start, Pat Murphy's Brewers are now 8-8.
You just got to get through it, and you got to be strong, and you got to show them, like, look, we got 140-some games to go, and we're hurting right now. But the way we battled revealed our character.
Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. The University of Wisconsin is on the hunt for a new director of athletics following the departure of Chris McIntosh. Former AD Barry Alvarez believes it's among the most attractive jobs in college sports.
Tremendous university, great city to raise your family. Your fan support is there. That's a pretty good start. And you have a reserve in your athletic department, which nobody has.
McIntosh begins his new gig with the Big Ten May 1st. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 4:08.
Tori Lowe in the studio up next.
Get 0% interest until 2030. Order by April 30th at PellaWI.com. Wisconsin weather doesn't ease you into spring, it keeps you guessing. One day it's sunshine, the next it's wind, rain, or even snow. That's why your windows and doors have to handle everything in every season. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we design with that in mind. Built for durability, efficiency, and year-round comfort. And right now, we're making that comfort easier to afford. Order today and get 0% interest until 2030. Not just for a short time, no interest all the way until 2030. So you can upgrade your home now and pay over time without even paying a dime in interest. From your free in-home consultation to expert installation, Pella's local team is with you every step. helping you find the right fit for your home, your style, and your budget. Plus, with our 10-year limited warranty, you'll have peace of mind long after installation date. No interest until 2030, but only if you order by April 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 4/30/2026.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Julia Fellow, joined in studio by
Julia, how do we get music with our name in it?
I know, isn't that fantastic?
You got to be big time. I mean, you're the real deal if you
Tori,
got
how
a
did
jingle
you
with your
get
name
this?
in it.
Hey, that's production. You know, you gotta make sure that you have production, and my production team is pretty good.
Tori's got a band singing his name. Nate, how do we get a band singing our name? Man, it's good to have you here.
You got to take them on them cruises that you're going on.
I love this conversation because it's about the Tori Low Community Cleanup. It is this Saturday. It's almost here. Tori, give us the basics. What do you accomplish when you do the cleanup?
This is like the 4th year that we're doing it. It's bigger. It's a lot more people coming out, a lot more resources now, and I'm excited. I am extremely excited. And if you want to volunteer, go to ToriLowCleanup.com. We got 3 locations. You can either go to one or all locations. And we got MMSD. They'll have the mobile unit for your hazardous house material. They'll be out there from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at MLK Elementary School at 3275 North 3rd Street. So we're going to do deep cleaning this year. I call it the deep clean, where you get the garage and the basement involved, as well as outside the house.
Paint, cleaners, all that sort of stuff. You can bring those hazardous materials. That's good.
And what's so cool is that when I was there the year before last, that DPW was there, and they were so thankful, Tori, that you had this cleanup. And they were right there ready to take all the bags, and they were very enthusiastic and thankful.
You know, Waste Management always does a lot of the different organizations. Our food sponsor, Cousin Subs, always coming through. At the end, we have a huge sit down. We talk about the community. We have a talk and get to network. It's just amazing. You know, all of the people that come together from GKB, from the community, we get together and we make sure that we do our job as a community, especially early in the year where people say, okay, this is going to be a long year. What better way to start off the year with a huge cleanup?
It's very well organized.
Yeah. So cleaning up a neighborhood, Tori, is it about more than just making sure there's not trash in the gutter? Does it instill a sense of pride? Why is it important?
It's just very, very important because it also, when you want to go into the year with people that you know are willing to roll up their sleeves. We talk about a lot of things that's going on in the city. A lot of people just love to talk. But I like to see who comes out to events that's about that action. And cleaning up is more than just getting trash off the communities. It's working with people who want to see a better Milwaukee. And to me, after that, we go into other call to actions, and it just continues throughout the year. And last year, a lot of people that got involved in the cleanup, we went on to do walks. We went on to deal with issues in the community with residents and became a resource for other people. It's just truly amazing, the wonderful people that actually come out and that's willing to do the work. That's what I love. Besides just it being a cleanup, I love to see the people that are not afraid to really make a difference.
I like to see all the garbage bags that you get heaping. Like there's almost 100 people last year in the photos. My goodness.
Look, they said 10,000 gallons of trash we picked up last year.
Wow.
10,000 gallons, according to Waste Management.
That's a real difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's free, but you need to register. We got to make sure we have enough sandwiches and cleaning supplies and what to expect. So ToriLowCleanup.com, ToriLowCleanup.com. Come make a difference in our community.
Come out, let's have some fun.
What's your favorite kind of cousin sandwich? What do you like?
Look, everybody know I love the turkey. Me and the turkey sub go back a long way.
ToriLowCleanup.com. You can get your own turkey sandwich.
Hey.
Show up and help make a difference. Tori, thank you. We always appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It is 4:13 at WTMJ. Up next, we know that car prices are really expensive. Wait till you hear some of the actual numbers. This is stunning. An expert joins us. Will there be relief anytime soon, or are we to continue to go up and up and up? That's after Debbie helps get you home on WTMJ.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Traffic is sponsored by the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, supporting communities and residents through advocacy, education, and service. Where you live matters. Get the answers you and your family need about assisted living in Wisconsin. Start with clear, trusted guidance by visiting whereyouLiveMatters.org today.
Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. They've got the best doctors, the best imaging, the best physical therapy, the most beautiful facilities. I know because my wife is a patient at OHAU, Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Start the way that we did. It's really easy. Go to the website because you deserve to feel better. The website is ohau.com, OHOW.com. It's easy. Hit request an appointment. They do the rest. At OHAU, one of the things that's great, you will deal with a doctor right away. Excellent centers for hip, knee, and shoulder replacement, spine surgery. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Head to the website, ohau.com. Hit request an appointment. All right, Debbie, how are we today?
Well, the earlier accident that we had on the Rock Freeway heading into the Hale interchange has been cleared. Delays have not. So we've got backups all the way back past the county line, so be careful with that. Beyond that, eastbound 894 is going to be a bit slow from about 92nd Street all the way to 76th. We've got westbound 894 heavy from about 27th all the way to 68th. And then we've got eastbound 94. As usual, delays from before 70th Street all the way to about 35th. The westbound side slowing from 30th to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, chance for storms, a low of 47. Tomorrow, chance for showers, a high of 61. Friday, rain at night, a high of 77. Saturday, rain early, a high of 60. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. Right now, a flood warning in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, the Fox River near New Munster in Kenosha County, and the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg. The rest of us under a flood watch.
All right. So a decade ago, the average cost of a car was about $33,000. Today, it hit almost $50,000.
Whoa.
That's according to Cox Automotive and Kelley Blue Book. So the average used car payment is $529, a used car. And the amount that have $30,000 or under, there's only 13% of new car inventory, of that type of inventory that's under $30,000. We have with us CarEdge CEO Zach Shefska. It's a leading consumer platform founded by a father and son team. They're dedicated to empowering car shoppers. Zach, thank you for joining us.
I wish it was under better circumstances, but yeah, those stats are crazy.
So what's the advice that you have for some people? Because, you know, when you go in sometimes to these car dealerships, the interest rate can be, you know, as low as 6% to 20%.
Yeah, one of the interesting things is the adage has always been to get a better value, get a used car. And because of what happened during the pandemic where there was a new car shortage, used car prices have skyrocketed. And as you mentioned, also new car prices are quite high at almost $50,000. But the interest rate for a used car is typically significantly higher than a new car. New cars have warranties. Used cars typically don't have much of a warranty. And so the calculus for car shoppers is a lot different today than it was a decade ago. And in many cases, looking at a new car might make more sense than a relatively new used car, which is different.
So 1 in 5 new cars, Zach, cost $1,000 or more a month. That's the commitment that buyers are making, $1,000 a month for 20% of cars. Do we find that people are spreading out the payments? They end up paying more, but are people going for 72 months, going for longer payment plans?
It's painful for me to say this, but you can get approved for a 120-month car loan right
What?
now. There are some financial institutions that are doing 10-year car loans. So yes, we have higher monthly payments, more interest being paid back, but over a longer payment, a longer term.
I thought an 84-month loan was making my eyes pop out.
Yeah, that's long too.
That's ridiculous. And you're underwater if you have a used car, if you do that.
Big time underwater. All the data suggests that negative equity, so being underwater, owing more on your car loan than what your vehicle is worth, is at all-time highs. I think Edmunds put out data recently that of those that have negative equity when they trade in their vehicle, I think it's like 20 or 25% of them owe more than $10,000 than what their vehicle is currently worth. So, yeah, it's quite the predicament for car shoppers out there.
So let's take a little bit of history here quickly. How did we get here? You mentioned COVID and that impacted delivery of new sales, but it seems to have gone back further than that. How did we get here?
I mean, it goes way, way back. There was a time in all of our lives where you could get an Econo box. You could get a cheap car that took you from point A to point B. So it's a combination of manufacturers had new cars slow down, produced about 10 to 15 million fewer new cars during the COVID era than they wanted to. So that impacted things, but also cars have gotten bigger. Manufacturers have had to implement safety functionality and features that have increased the cost of vehicles based on government regulations. And then I hate to say it, but tariffs have also played a role here over the past year or so. So you add all those factors up, and over the past few decades, new car sales have actually stayed relatively flat. But the cost of cars has gone up significantly. So you can't help but think that the two of those things are correlated.
There's another piece of advice that I saw you wrote about is to check the Dealer Transparency Index. What is the Dealer Transparency Index?
Oh, man, if anyone's bought a car, and I'm sure many of the people listening to this have, you know that the price you see online is never the actual price that you pay at the dealership. They add fees. Maybe they bait and switched on the price, things like that. The Dealer Transparency Index, we built it at CarEdge. It actually takes price quotes from dealerships, analyzes them, compares them to online advertised prices, and gives dealers a grade from A to F to tell you how transparent they are. So I encourage everyone, don't waste your time with F and D rated dealers switching on pricing or add-on fees. Go look up those transcripts and spend your time there instead.
So I know people hate buying a car because they hate the wheeling and dealing that happens. I always kind of liked it. I looked at it as competition. I did research. I went in. I was able to negotiate. I liked bringing the finance guy in and doing all that stuff. And then I read that there's less and less of that happening, that there's less negotiating, especially as there was less inventory a couple of years ago. Is it still possible to negotiate something meaningful on your own behalf?
Absolutely. Consumers out there need to know that they can negotiate. New car inventories are actually pretty high right now. The used car market's a little bit more difficult to negotiate because of the car shortage that we had. But on the new car side, customers should be prepared to negotiate. They can get significant savings, especially on slow-moving inventory, cars that aren't selling particularly well.
How do people afford this? I mean, even a used car. I mean, when you're talking about anything from $749 a month to $1,000, or a used car monthly payment $529, and the car has 70,000 miles on it.
So some of the scariest data is the fact that more and more auto loan approvals are going to those that have subprime credit. So the share of subprime credit auto loan approvals has grown significantly over the past few years. So how can people afford it? The banks are the ones enabling it. And just because you can get approved for an auto loan doesn't mean you should take that auto loan.
What are you currently driving?
This is the irony in all of this. I live in the city. I don't have a car right now. I sold my car when
The car guy doesn't have a car.
What?
when used car prices went sky high, I sold my car. You got to time the market here.
What do we have? A scooter?
I'm more of a bike kind of guy.
Bike and public transportation? Do you Uber?
Hey, I want you guys to know my car payment $0 a month, no insurance payment, no maintenance and repairs. It's not that bad, y'all. Just saying.
I am a little jealous of that. I can't even get Julia to ride in my car with me when we have to go to an event together.
He's fine with it too, Zach. He is.
Hey,
Oh, go ahead.
That's the other part of this is insurance costs are so high, maintenance costs are so high. So when you add it all up, $1,000 a month payment sounds like a lot when it's just the finance part of the equation.
Yeah.
But you add the other pieces, it adds up to even more.
You're right.
No kidding. He is Car Edge CEO, Zach Shefska. Zach, thank you so much.
Really appreciate the time, guys. Thanks.
The Car Edge CEO doesn't own a car. That's fantastic. That's rich.
Doesn't that say it all that we shouldn't how bad it is?
It does say a lot. You're right about that. Time for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Pretty good day for the markets. The NASDAQ, really good day, up 377 points, almost another 1.5%, knocking on the door of an all-time high. The S&P 500, over 7,000 points, 55 up today. I think that might be an all-time high. The Dow wavered throughout the day and then dropped 73 points. Annex Wealth Management, fee-only fiduciary all the time. Know the difference with Annex.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Appliance Gallery. You have to head to their incredible showroom on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. When I walked in, I was wowed by all the choices they give you to make a custom kitchen upgrade. You deserve it. They have the most up-to-date and iconic luxury showroom in our state. So when you walk over to Wolf, you can see their iconic red knobs. You can also touch the latest Sub-Zero brands, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. You can work directly with their builder, contractor, or remodeler with their in-house team. Head to ApplianceGalleryWI.com. That's ApplianceGalleryWI.com.
Hi, I'm Jane. Before moving to Capri Communities, my daughter spent more time helping me with chores than enjoying our visits. Now she comes over and we can go to concerts, we enjoy delicious meals, and participate in activities that are always happening. I choose senior living so that our time together can be more about fun than fixing things. And I love the freedom it gives me every day.
Give the care that has your parent enjoying life again at CapriCommunities.com.
Can it get any easier? I don't think so. James, you can get an online order done at martyspizza.net in 30 seconds.
And we've made it easy to order all the favorites that a lot of Marty's Pizza lovers gotta have.
Our classic sausage and pepperoni pizza or lasagna and masticholi entrees. They're all delicious. Marty's Pizza in Delafield and martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Register online for Red Card Loyalty, and after 15 pizzas, you'll get your next one free!
Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
I'm John Mercure. Welcome to our Everyday Health feature sponsored by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. April is Donate Life Month, a time to honor the generosity of organ donors, celebrate the lives saved through transplantation, and raise awareness about the life-saving difference donation makes. Across the nation, more than 100,000 people are waiting for an organ transplant that could save or transform their lives. Here to talk to us about the importance of organ donation is Dr. Emily Jochum, a transplant nephrologist with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Dr. Jochum, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
How great is the need for organ donation?
And about every 8 minutes, another person is added to our national transplant waiting list. Despite all of our advances in medicine, there simply are not enough organs to meet this need. Many patients wait months or even years for the call that an organ is available, and for many, the call will never come. And this really highlights how critical every donation is.
For someone who chooses to become an organ donor, what does that process look like?
You can register through your local DMV or through the Wisconsin State Registry or the National Donate Life Registry. Freighter and MCW patients can actually register through their Freighter and MCW MyChart account. For those who are interested in becoming a living donor, such as donating a kidney, the process begins with a comprehensive health evaluation to ensure that donation is safe for them. Throughout the process, our living donors are supported by our expert care team that is able to answer questions, share options, and fully explain what to expect before, during, and after their donation surgery.
For anyone considering organ donation or maybe in need of transplant care, why choose the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Transplant Center?
We are proud to be a nationally recognized leader in transplant care with decades of experience supporting patients across all organ transplant types. Our program has been performing transplants for more than 50 years, and we have nationally ranked outcomes that reflect the dedication and the expertise of our comprehensive care team. And we've given more than 6,500 patients a new chance at life.
Dr. Emily Jochum, thank you so much for being with us today. For more information on organ donation and transplants, visit freighter.com/donatelife.
The Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center is here in New Berlin, and it's ready for you and your team. From little leaguers to hardcore players and trainers, this is the place you'll want to be.
You can't beat Burkhart.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story: another failed War Powers resolution.
I'm Julia Fellow. A water drop alert for Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Lazigo. We've got delays along westbound 94 starting before 27th Street, stretching all the way to Hawley Road. The eastbound side's backed up from 84th to about 27th. Southbound 43, you've got backups from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette and over the high rise, pretty much all the way down past Chase Avenue. And then we've got the northbound side tightening up from Kilbourne all the way up towards Locust. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A flood warning is in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, the Fox River in New Munster near Kenosha County, and the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg. The rest of southeast Wisconsin under a flood watch. The low tonight will be 50 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the U.S. Senate once again fails to pass a War Powers resolution.
On this motion, the yeas are 47, the nays are 52. The motion is not agreed to.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Senate Democrats will again put forth a resolution to limit President Trump's ability to send U.S. troops to war. He was unable to get any Republican support today.
Fallout on Capitol Hill intensifying today as two members of Congress resign this week amid sexual misconduct allegations. CBS Natalie Brand.
Gonzalez and Swalwell stepped down this week, facing a bipartisan effort to expel them.
I know in talking to both Democrats and Republicans, they're just like, in so many words, time to take out the trash.
If it wouldn't have been for those resolutions that we were each filing, they wouldn't have resigned.
Gonzalez admitted to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. Swalwell is facing allegations from multiple women, ranging from sending inappropriate pictures to sexual assault, which he denies.
Crews are out in full force across Waukesha County following another round of severe weather.
Storm damage is scattered across Sussex after strong winds tore through Tuesday night, leaving trees snapped, branches covering the ground, and power lines down near Lisbon Presbyterian Church. Crews were seen working to stabilize a fallen power line stretched across the street, keeping it from hitting the ground again. Pieces of the church were blown across the property, and nearby homes also saw damage, with trees knocked down behind and in front of the houses. One church elder tells WTMJ the building dates back to the 1800s and says the damage is heartbreaking, calling the church a place that means so much to the community. In Sussex, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
People in our city are being asked to limit their water usage with more rain in our forecast.
A water drop alert is now in effect, with multiple water reclamation sites in the city at or near capacity already. The Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District says that means people should delay washing dishes and laundry, take shorter showers, and empty out their rain barrels. As of Wednesday, the deep tunnel built in 1993 to handle excess water runoff was more than 3/4 full, ahead of more rounds of rain expected through the end of the week. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Another Republican in the Wisconsin State Senate plans to step down.
Senator Jesse James says he'll retire at the end of his term and not seek re-election. He initially had plans to run against Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith to represent the 31st District in the western part of Wisconsin. But in a statement, James says the role came at a price and he wants to spend more time with family. He was elected to the state Senate in 2022 and before that served 2 terms in the Assembly. James is now the 5th Senate Republican deciding not to seek re-election this fall. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The Ozaki Interurban Trail in Mequon is closed because of flooding. It's broken the trail. The Public Works Department says the road has collapsed in the trail, making it impassable. Barricades are up to block the road and traffic is rerouted.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The NFL Draft begins 1 week from tomorrow in Pittsburgh. The Packers currently own 8 selections, but none in the first round. And the Brewers are hoping to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight in Game 2 against the Blue Jays. Pat Murphy's crew is now 8-8 on the season.
There's a lot of fight in them. When you got the guys we got out of our lineup and the guys we got out of our pitching staff, you have to put guys in positions they don't, they're not comfortable in. Our guys never quit. That's bottom line. It's a tough one to handle.
Our coverage of tonight's game starts at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:35.
Sponsored by Redo Cabinets. Don't replace this spring. Reface.
Kitchen remodeling projects consistently rank as one of the most valuable improvement projects in your home. I'm Mark Olson with Redo Cabinets, here to tell you that we can transform your kitchen into your vision and save you money. Now is a great time to learn about refacing during our spring sales event. During this event at Redo Cabinets, get premium cabinet facings with plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And get free premium countertops with every refacing project. Or payments as low as $195 a month. That's right, $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Got your tax refund? Before it mysteriously disappears, invested in something you'll actually see every day, your home. At Exterior Pros and Baths, turn that refund into energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath remodel. And they'll take it even further with $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings during the April savings event. But don't wait, this offer won't last long. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com today. Exterior Pros and Baths, big savings done right.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
You're simply the best.
Yes, she is our rock star travel secretary. She is Ann Sayers. Hello, Ann.
Hello, how are you?
Excellent. It's so good to have you on the show this afternoon. I love this topic, dining icons. We've got so many in Wisconsin, don't we?
So many family-run restaurants that are serving up more than meals. It's a whole experience. I can't wait to talk about it with you.
Including, Ann, a 4th-generation supper club in Rice Lake.
Yes, 4th generation. So you can make the trip to Rice Lake to discover this endearing legacy of a family-run supper club. It's called Lehman's. Lehman's Supper Club is an icon in the region. It was established in 1934 by Paul Lehman and his sons. And today the legacy continues with the 4th generation now. Settle into the supper club for a quintessential dining experience. The lunch menu is appetizing salads, burgers, and sandwiches. And then during the dining hours, Lehman Supper Club specializes in a selection of steaks that are hand-cut, and then you can pair it with a baked potato, and my very favorite part, their signature cheese sauce.
Ooh, that sounds really good. That's
It sounds
yummy.
Really good. And then while you're in Rice Lake, you can extend your stay to be at the Courier's Lakeview Lodge. It's a year-round resort. So it's on a peaceful peninsula that juts into Rice Lake. And as the name implies, every room treats guests to a lake view, and it's full of warm cabin-like character.
And the next one is my favorite place. I'm not exaggerating. It's in the Kettle Moraine. It's the Fox and Hounds. This is such a special place, Ann.
It is so cool. So you have to travel to Washington County to discover a restaurant with roots that are more than 180 years old. It's called the Fox and Hounds Restaurant and Tavern. It's nestled into those rolling hills of the northern Kettle Moraine. Like you said, John, it's so cool. The first clerk of Washington County built a one-room cabin there in 1845, and then the cabin was expanded through the decades, transformed into a hunting lodge, and eventually became this restaurant. So today, Fox and Hounds is defined by old-world ambiance, rustic charm, handcrafted detail. Each dining room is full of unique character and history. You're going to savor meals just as comfortable as the setting. Entrees like specialty pastas, fish, seafood dishes, and popular daily specials. And then, you're right there. So you've got to add a stop to Holy Hill for sweeping views of the Washington County countryside. It's the Neo-Romanesque church. It was built on the hilltop 100 years ago. And starting in May, that scenic tower will reopen for seasonal tours. It's 178 stairs, but once you're up there, it's a panoramic view of the beautiful forest around it.
John, I know you're really close with the owners. What's the family like?
Oh, they're fantastic. Ann, Julia, this is a family-run business. It's cool. They care more. Happy employees. It's a beautiful, special place for sure.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love to hear that. And Ann, there's fine dining and a family-owned establishment in De Pere.
Yeah, so Green Bay area is a restaurant that has stood the test of time. It's the Union Hotel and Restaurant. It was named in honor of then recently victorious Northern Army in the Civil War. It predates the Packers, survived through Prohibition, and persevered through the Great Depression. Pretty amazing. Today, it's operated by the fifth generation of the current owners. Located in De Pere, the Union Hotel is a fine dining destination steeped in those supper club traditions. The restaurant is an establishment that actually each December they receive hundreds of thousands of calls trying to reserve one of the coveted tables for it's a popular caroling experience. So put that on your list.
Yeah.
Can you get us in there?
Yeah, Ann, you're connected.
Can you get me in there?
What are the dishes like at the Union?
Oh, they're so good. So there is baked Atlantic salmon served with a dill sauce or cremini mushroom ravioli. That's in a pesto cream sauce with caramelized apples. So much more. And then you're going to be right there so you could stay a night at the Lodge Kohler in Green Bay. It's just 100 yards from Lambeau Field. It's a hotel like no other. Relax after your meal in the sumptuous guest rooms or take in a treatment at the renowned spa and end your day sipping craft cocktails on the rooftop with views of Lambeau.
So the Union Hotel, Ann, is where the Packers players and coaches like to go eat. I saw Matt LaFleur in there 3 years ago when I was up for a Packers weekend. You're right. It's a really special place.
Well, that's a fun fact. It's on my list for several reasons, but that's a good one.
Well,
who did you see at Carnivore one time? Oh, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
With Olivia Munn.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers was at a table not far from me at Carnivore. I was late to my dinner reservation. My wife texted me and said, "You got to get here. Aaron Rodgers is at the table next to us." And I texted her back and I said, "I know I'm late. You don't need to act crazy. Come on, I'm on my way there." And sure enough, he was at the next table. He's a weird dude. He was talking about Star Wars the whole dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And that's also a locally owned business, Carnivore.
Would you rather, Ann, have dinner with Aaron Rodgers or Matt LaFleur?
I was already going to say anything else. So, Matt LaFleur.
I would do Aaron Rodgers.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I'd pick his brain.
Okay.
Which one's more handsome, Julia?
Ooh, Aaron Rodgers.
No.
And he has beautiful feet.
Stop. Nobody has beautiful feet.
You should see
Ann, who's more handsome to you?
What is going on with Julia? No.
Ann, who's more handsome do you think? LaFleur or Rodgers?
Am I allowed to answer this? It's Matt, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the best looking
I
coach.
can hear Ann blushing. You can't usually hear people blushing through the phone.
No, I don't.
Ann Sayers is the amazing, travel secretary. Ann, you're always so much fun. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.
It is 4:43 at WTMJ.
There I was outside doing some yard work when I noticed my neighbor looking over his windows. He's climbing up and down his ladder, and I hear him holler to his wife, "Honey, we're gonna need a few new windows." So I took a walk over and said, "Hi Ron, do you mind if I take a look?" He said, "Go right ahead." And I said, "You know, the window itself, which is the framework to the glass here, looks fine. And the sill, which is the bottom of the framework, that's fine too. It's the glass that needs replacing. The seal must be broke, and that lets in the moisture we're seeing. That's why your windows are fogging up." And he said, "So I don't need new windows?" And I said, "No, actually, if you want, I can have the glass replaced, and they'll basically be as good as new. And believe me, it'll cost you a lot less than replacing these." This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. I want to tell you about a very special event they have. It's about memory. When memory changes in a loved one, it can be difficult to have conversations about finances and things that are just important. Where do you start? Who can help? How about this? April 16th at the Annex Wealth Management headquarters in Brookfield. It's part of Annex's Women in Health series. This one's called Getting Ahead of Memory Changes. Simple steps you can take now to ensure your wishes are understood and your loved one's wishes are understood. A clear plan for your family. Reserve your free spot for this important event at annexwealth.com. Click on events. At Annex, they take a holistic approach to your entire financial picture, no matter how complex or how diverse. You want to make sure your legacy is protected. You want to make sure you have tax protections. Annex is local, and they know the community because their leaders live here. Based in Brookfield, multiple locations, Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. We did that years ago. And check out Money Talk, the Annex Wealth Management show, Saturdays at 10 a.m. on WTMJ.
Ready for the water? Stop into MW Marine and check out their showroom featuring the 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Lock in a great deal early so when summer hits, you're already launching, not waiting. Plus, full boat service and storage. They'll take top-notch care of your rig and get you on the water. MW Marine, your summer starts here.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Lead with purpose and take the next step in your career. At Concordia University, Wisconsin, the Batterman School of Business offers an online MBA designed for ambitious professionals like you. Choose from 12 in-demand concentrations with flexible courses that fit your schedule and your goals. Visit cuw.edu/MBA to get started. That's cuw.edu/MBA.
I started our landscaping company, Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services, in 1994. We have other businesses, a trucking company, investment properties, and we board and raise quarter horses. I met Chris from Horicon Bank over 20 years ago, and we really hit it off. A few years back, we made our largest capital commitment ever. Chris understood our vision, supported it, and 5 years later, our annual equipment maintenance costs are down, and our fleet is amazing. Chris and Horicon Bank helped make that happen.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Let's get you where you need to safely with Debbie Lasaga.
Problems on 43 heading northbound right about at Brown Deer Road. The right shoulder is blocked with a crash, so be careful with that. We also have an issue with some debris on the off-ramp to Good Hope Road from 43 northbound. There's a bunch of barrels that are kind of lined up at the beginning of the ramp there, so it's going to be a little bit of a sticky ride. You can get past it, but it's just a little bit weird. Southbound 43 also seeing some backups from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette. 41 southbound's heavy from the county line all the way to Appleton Avenue. Northbound's heavy from before Mayfair Road all the way up past Burleigh. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Your WTMJ 5-day forecast, a flood warning in effect for Dodge and Jefferson counties and also Kenosha County. And the rest of southeast Wisconsin is under a flood watch. A low of 47 tonight. Tomorrow more chances of showers and storms, becoming partly cloudy, a high of 61. Then Friday, rainstorms likely at night again, a high of 77. Saturday, rain early, then it becomes partly cloudy, a high of 60. Sunday, your pick day, mostly sunny. It'll only reach 48 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's mostly cloudy and 66 degrees.
Dale Coinga is the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. He is the big kahuna, the head honcho, the top dog, Big Daddy. He's the boss man. Dale!
Big Daddy.
Good afternoon.
Did you say Big Daddy Presencia?
That's an introduction I've never had before in my life.
You've earned all of it.
I think you have the wrong guy. You're the wrong guy on the phone right now.
Nope, you've earned all of it. You are sponsored by Concordia University and Horicon Bank, the natural choice. This is proof. Nobody else has two sponsors.
No kidding.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, they're also like my favorite. I'm a Horicon Bank customer, and I'm on the board at the Concordia Business Department. Even though my college basketball career ended at Concordia with a broken leg, but I love both. Yeah, both your sponsors I have a nice personal tie to.
That's fantastic, Dale. I know you're excited about this. I want you to tell us why this is a big deal. Milwaukee restaurants could soon be Michelin rated. Inspectors are on the ground now. Why is this a big deal?
Well, the Michelin rating used to be a European designation, and that was, 100 years ago, Michelin was trying to sell more tires. So they said, how can we sell more tires? And what they did is they created the top restaurants that are throughout Europe, and then people would drive from restaurant to restaurant. And in time, that actually expanded to the U.S., but it was only in large cities, Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles, Florida. And now, and big shout out to Peggy Smith and the Visit Milwaukee team and Bartolotta and others, it's coming to Milwaukee. I mean, we already know we have great restaurants, but getting those restaurants Michelin rating, hopefully more than one, that will bring more tourism here. Tourism brings dollars. It brings more props for Milwaukee and the region. And so I know we're going to get a couple ratings here out of it, and excited that the Milwaukee brand will be known increasingly so internationally.
Okay, let's talk about the latest oil blockade. It's bringing a bigger economic risk all the way here to Wisconsin.
Well, of all places in the world where the economic impact is felt the least, it's probably here, because America, it's actually a remarkable story, in the last 10 years has become energy independent. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not impacted because it's a global market for oil. But I don't think people realize how many things come back to oil. And so when 20% of the world's oil goes through that Strait of Hormuz, it's going to impact you. I mean, plastics are derivative oil. Fertilizers are often a derivative of natural gas that comes from the Middle East. And so when you're looking at the cost that goes into pretty much everything at one point or the other, it's going to be impacted by consumers. That's why you saw the worst inflation numbers last week in several years. And that's why businesses are looking at saying it's going to be another challenge. But the good news is, of anywhere in the world, America is best prepared to shield the pain that's going to come with this. But there will be pain with this, and the economy will slow down, not only here globally, but everywhere.
If talks are successful and we can get this figured out, I say the global we, meaning the world, if we can get this figured out soon, do you think it's mitigated? Do you think the pain starts to go away? How far away are we from pain subsiding, Dale, 7 weeks into the war, if talks are successful in the next couple of days?
Well, it won't be immediate. There's, places in Kuwait, for example, and other places, they've stopped pumping oil because they have no place to store the oil. And you just don't flip those oil pumps on, those rigs like a light switch. There's a process. And also, Iran has been attacking energy infrastructure. I mean, there's over 80 refinery and other energy infrastructure plants in the Middle East that are damaged, and a third of those are severely damaged. So it's going to take some time to get those energy infrastructure assets back online.
Refund of tariffs is likely to begin next week, Dale. How will this work?
Well, there's a lot of, we don't know. I'm actually surprised that the refund of tariffs is going to happen so quickly. I thought that the Trump administration would drag their feet on this a little bit longer, but it looks like they're following the court orders down the executive branch, and so they're going to be pumping out these refunds. These are huge refunds. On the low end, we're talking about $127 billion. There's still some lawsuits pending. It looks like it will be paid back tariffs plus interest, furthering the national deficit, by the way. But, we said, if you go back in the archives of this show, when these tariffs were put on, we said right away that these are probably unconstitutional. And sure enough, the U.S. Supreme Court agreed with that. And here we are with another chaotic mess that interrupts business. I mean, it's good news that they're getting money back, but it's just a distraction from core business.
Which local companies will likely get a refund, Dale?
Well, the companies that have filed lawsuits include Harley-Davidson is one, and there's, I think Milwaukee Tool has claims out there. Pretty much any large manufacturing company is going to have an impact. Kohl's has an impact, a retailer. So it's big dollars to some companies. Other companies, it's small ball. And what we've heard from the companies that are memberships is that there's going to be companies that go out there and lead and have the lawsuits and have the resources. And there'll be other companies that it's not as large of a part of their balance sheet or income statement, the tariffs. And so what they're going to do is they're going to wait and let the others lead the way. And then when it gets to them, they'll get their tariff back with interest.
All right, Dale, Julie and I are talking about something you mentioned earlier we want to go back to. We know people know you're about 7.5 feet tall, and you probably played basketball.
That's a lot. There's actually, I've seen basketball players now that are literally 7.5 feet
I saw
tall.
that too.
And there was and the guy the picture of the guy who was 7.5 feet tall and there's like 6'7" guy next to him, it kind of went viral.
He's looking up at him.
So I'm the 6'7" guy in that photo. I'm not the 7.5 guy. So that's a pretty big exaggeration, John. I got to call you out on that.
How did you hurt yourself at Concordia? Tell us about the injury.
I took a charge. And I fell on it. I fell on it like kind of crooked, which you're not supposed to do. I fell off to the side, and so broke my ankle there. Yeah.
And was that the end of it? I mean, was it enough that it really damaged your ability to get back to the level you had been at?
Well, it was my junior year, and they changed the rules. We should talk about this next week. They changed the rules for the CPA exam, where you needed 5 years of schooling, 150 credit hours. So what I did is I hurried up and graduated early, so I didn't have to do a whole other year of college. So when I broke my ankle and I was aware of that, I'm just going to graduate early and move on. So now I get to watch my son. My son just committed to Wisconsin Lutheran College. He's 6'9".
He's going to play there?
He's going to play at Wisconsin Lutheran College. And so he'll be in the same conference I played in. It's kind of fun because another guy I played with in college, his son's on that team. So really looking forward to
That's
we're
cool.
right back in Wisconsin D3 hoops and looking forward to seeing that story continue.
So you are 6'7". There's not many guys you have to look up to. And you said your son is a couple inches taller?
Yeah, he's 2 inches taller. And fun thing is when you're deployed is for international travel, 6'7" is exactly 2 meters as well. So that question when you travel.
That's interesting. So oftentimes you're asked to lay down in the middle of the desert when they need to measure something out.
Yeah, he's exactly 2 meters. Use him.
He is Dale Koinga, the president and CEO of the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce. Dale, it's always good to catch up. Thank you so much.
Always good. See you guys next week. Thanks.
Dale segment sponsored by Concordia University's Batterman School of Business and Horicon Bank, the natural choice.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a good karma brand station.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com, or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Sweet Talks Medical Spa, Menominee Falls. I was just there this morning. I have my wellness coach, nurse practitioner Angie. She's getting my energy back. We did IV injections. It was fantastic. Then I did my next favorite thing. I got Dysport. It's like Botox. I got a little tweak with the owner, Katie Sweetman. She's also a nurse practitioner. It was amazing. The effects are amazing. And I would definitely suggest going. It's kicking in. The lines on my forehead aren't showing. My crow's feet are more subtle when I smile. I even got it in my jaw, my masseter muscle to thin out my face. I always tell people, don't be afraid of Botox or Dysport. It's not going to expand or your part of your face. It's not fillers. It's different. This stops your muscle from moving. And not completely. Your face is far from frozen. You can book now at sweettalks.com. They are incredible. The entire team is so nice. Book at sweettalks.com.
An epic Brewers Pirates series is coming April 24th through the 26th. Kick it off with Star Wars Night on Friday the 24th. And check out a post-game laser show presented by ESPN Milwaukee. Then on Saturday the 25th, get a Brewers Windbreaker giveaway courtesy of Quartz. Wrap up the series with Family Sunday fun and kids cheer free. Plus, the first 5,000 kids take home an Abner Uribe poster. Grab a seat at Brewers.com.
This summer, don't just work, log off, and become the guy behind the adventure. More laughs, less scrolling. Do summer different at Peak Initiative. We're hiring camp counselors, leaders, swim instructors, and more for our day camp in Milwaukee and over camp in Boscobel, Wisconsin. Earn $650 a week starting pay, plus housing and meals at Lake Valley Camp. Make memories, make an impact. Make this summer count. Apply today at peakinitiative.org/join our team. The Peak Initiative. Do summer different.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or your local CVS.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Traffic is sponsored by Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center. Burghardt Sporting Goods. Visit them today in New Berlin.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
To a pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. Bye-bye baseball.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, damage details on 3 tornadoes in Wisconsin last night.
I'm Julia Fellow. Who's accused of an illegal monopoly?
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Eastbound on 94, we're seeing delays from about Springdale Road all the way past Brookfield Road, and then back on the brakes from about 84th Street through to 35th. Westbound's backed up from just before 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. And the bypass heading southbound going to be solid pretty much from Greenfield Avenue all the way down and around the Hale interchange past Forest Home. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Flood warning in effect for many areas, including parts of Dodge, Jefferson, Kenosha, and Milwaukee counties. Flood watch in effect for most of southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, more rain. It's on the way, up to an inch, a low of 50 degrees. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 64. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 3 confirmed tornadoes in Wisconsin during last night's severe weather. The first was an EF2 tornado just north of Sussex, on the ground for 6 minutes and heavily damaged a Presbyterian church. Pastor Sarah Knowles at Lisbon Presbyterian.
Quite an event to happen in my first year here, but our congregation is so close and tight-knit that I knew that we would make it through this.
A second tornado was in Marquette County. A third was just south of Beaver Dam.
An indicator that meteorologists look for on radar is called a tornado debris signature. Tim Hallbach with the National Weather Service in Sullivan explains the term on Wisconsin's Midday News.
If it's all rain, it all just looks the same. But if tornado hits a house and there's sheet metal going up into the sky, it gives us a signal that there's debris being thrown up into the sky. And it's something that we look at to try to gauge if it's an intense tornado, strong or violent tornado. We can see that on radar.
Hallbach says people are generally more likely to take shelter, which they should during a tornado warning when they hear a tornado is on the ground.
Legal experts say there could be a huge amount of damages in the wake of a jury verdict finding Live Nation and Ticketmaster engaged in a monopoly. CBS's Allison Keyes.
The case accused concert giant Live Nation of using its power to smother competition. Legal analyst Lori Levinson says the federal jury found that
the way that they have operated in controlling the various venues led to huge amounts in fees and prices for these concerts.
Live Nation insists that it is not a monopoly, and its attorney says success is not against the antitrust laws in the U.S. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
With Doc Rivers out, the search is on for the next head coach of the Bucs.
The goal is to get someone in as soon as possible, get them to work, get them to build out their staff. The reality is we are thinking about this over the course of the long term.
Milwaukee Bucks president Josh Glessing says no stone will go unturned in finding the ideal fit.
There's nothing that's not in play.
From experienced coaches to up-and-comers to the college ranks. Entering the final year of his contract, the future of Giannis in a Bucks uniform remains unclear.
Is it fair to say that an extension has not been offered to Giannis? Sure, but he can't sign an extension until October.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Coming up, the Brewers look to snap a 6-game losing streak.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 5:04.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi.
And Kristen Bry of Point Taken.
What's more important than having a special needs child turning 18 who needs guardianship?
Or helping aging parents plan for long-term care.
Thankfully, the attorneys at Walney Legal Group can help with both.
No intimidating lawyers, Walney Legal provides a customized, friendly experience to help make these processes as straightforward and streamlined as possible.
So whether you're planning for aging parents
or establishing a strong legal foundation for a special needs child, visit WALNYlegal.com.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hi, this is Brittany from the Neal Group with today's tax tip. Qualified overtime is deductible up to $12,500. Certain types of overtime are not included in this amount, and your W-2 may not show the amount of overtime. Only the premium paid is qualified. This means only the half in time and a half counts. You may need to look at your last pay stub to determine the correct amount. The deduction phases out based on total income. For more tips, or if you have questions, visit nealgroup.net or call 414-325-2040. That's nealgroup.net.
We're sponsored by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects. All right, let's look at the world of sports. Over at the Gruber Law offices, one call That's All Sports Desk, the Brewers aim to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Blue Jays. After an 8-2 start, they're now 8-8. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 6:05 on WTMJ. And the University of Wisconsin continues their hunt for a new director of athletics after the departure of Chris McIntosh. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, Siding, and a whole lot more.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:07.
Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects. They really are experts. They really are our sponsor.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
These birds can chirp all they want. We'll just keep on swinging.
Pitch and a fly ball. Deep left field. Lyles back. Track. center. This could be number 2 of the day, and it is.
The Blue Jays flying to town to take on the Crew at American Family Field. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Kessler's Diamonds.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air. Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, also in the studio, Adam Roberts. Lots of rain yesterday. That has people around here who get PTSD thinking about the deep tunnel, wondering what's going on with MMSD. Adam.
Indeed. We hear those words, combined sewer overflow,
Ooh.
popular nomenclature in the Milwaukee area. So, yes, let's take an update right now on where things stand with the sewerage district because, as we saw yesterday, in addition to the tornadoes, lots of rain. We had freeway ponding and more than 3.5 inches of rain at one of MMSD's gauges. This is in 81st and Florist. Recall last August, that was the one that saw the 14-plus inches of rain. So they get a lot, and they had a lot last night. So right now, one of the 4 MMSD facilities that takes in all of the water is at capacity. This is Jones Island, just south of downtown by the port. South Shore's facility at 80%. The deep tunnel, where are we at? 77%, just over 3/4 capacity. And these numbers, I've been checking them pretty much hourly throughout the day. They've been holding serve. We haven't really gotten any more rain yet, as now things are kind of just starting to pop up. There's that big line out west. So we'll see where these numbers sit later. So as of right now, there's been no combined sewer overflow notice, which, as we all know, is when we got to get capacity and get all that wastewater untreated out into Lake Michigan. Remember during that historic flooding last year, the number was just staggering. Over 500 billion gallons of water sent into the lake. Nowhere near that right now.
I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that we're not at that level.
Remember when they would say do shorter showers?
Yeah.
Well, we do have that.
Yes.
So there is the water drop alert. That's another term we hear around
drop
here
alert.
a lot.
Yep.
So that does mean, yes, shorter showers. And I do want to clarify for anyone looking to poke holes in things, they're not saying don't shower. You can still shower. If you smell, please shower. For everyone's sake, just make it a shorter shower. Hold off on your laundry and dishwashing you don't need to do. If you have a rain barrel, make sure to empty that. But please shower.
Hygiene tips with Adam Roberts. If you stink, jump in the shower.
News you can use on Wisconsin's Afternoon
Julia
News.
Fellow with the drop alert. What is it? Drop warning? What is it?
Water drop alert.
I remember
Water drop
reporting
alert.
on this, and you can get a text notification when there is a drop alert. It was a big push.
What does that mean exactly? That means shorter showers? That's what the drop alert means?
Shorter showers, watch when you flush.
Don't wash your dishes. Eat off dirty dishes 4 days in a row.
It's true.
Yep.
Paper
Just scrape
plates
the
making
hard
a big
stuff off.
comeback this week.
Yeah.
We all need to do our part.
We do, Julie. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes. And in all seriousness, we do have a flood watch for all of southern Wisconsin. We have flood warnings as well. And depending on where you're at with this line that's going to move through, we could see 1.5 inches of extra rain on average, locally higher amounts possible as well. And then, of course, you have Thursday to look into, Friday to look into. That's why I'm going to be keeping an eye on these numbers, because while they're where they are now, I could expect them to go up, and we could be in overflow territory later this week.
And
okay.
Yeah, this is why Mayor Barrett was trying to invest so much in those green alleys.
Green
What?
infrastructure.
Because
it's a thing, John.
So basically, there were
Bioswales.
lots of rocks, so it would absorb the rainwater.
Is it true Mayor Barrett actually pulled the big lever that sent the stuff into the lake? Boom! He would just rip the lever and he would actually do it?
I think Norquist
time.
was still mayor when they put this in the 90s.
Oh, Barrett was the one who actually put out the alert for the drops. He would sit at home and say, boop, and the drop alert would go to all of us.
Interesting, you know how Tom Barrett was doing in his house.
Yeah, well, he's a very transparent guy. It is 5:13 at WTMJ. Adam, thanks for the update. Of
course.
Debbie helps get you home up next. By the way, that line of storms is now getting close to Madison. Niz is with us coming up in 20 minutes.
Where to turn? Contact 211 Wisconsin today. Whether it's finding food, housing assistance, mental health support, help with addiction, or more, 211 Wisconsin is available for free 24/7 to connect you with thousands of local programs and services. Dial 211 on your phone. You can also chat with a specialist on 211wisconsin.org or install the 211 app. Help is closer than you think. Sponsored by 211 Wisconsin.
Otto's Wine and Spirit, serving Milwaukee since 1945. That's right, very long time. They are the real deal. I like the vibe when I'm in Otto's. It's light, it's airy. They've got the best selection. They've got the best value. I mean, literally, they have the best prices. They'll beat any advertised price in Otto's. Employee-owned, super friendly staff, super knowledgeable. At my store in Menominee Falls, Bruce, the wine guy, can help me find anything. Wisconsin strong, committed to our communities, very philanthropic, and that beer cooler wine seltzer collection, along with the wine aisles, absolutely top tier. It's Otto's Wine and Spirits. They're the best. It's Otto's.
Picture this, a perfect summer evening, great friends, and dinner on the patio overlooking a beautiful course. That's Racine Country Club. More than golf, it's a place to relax, gather, and belong. A new energy is here, and you're invited to experience it. From great food to unforgettable events, it's a lifestyle built around community. Whether it's a quick 9 after work, dinner with friends, or a weekend with family, Racine Country Club offers something for everyone, year-round. Discover what's new at Racine Country Club. Visit racinecountryclub.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on April 28th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in April 28th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lozica, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. We do have delays along southbound 41 coming in from about Highway 145 all the way down to Appleton Avenue. Northbound is backing up from Swan Boulevard up past Burleigh, almost to Capitol Drive. We've got southbound 43 kind of heavy from Keefe all the way through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. There is a crash on the ramp from 794 westbound to southbound 4394 in the Marquette. It's off on the left shoulder, so keep an eye out for that. Northbound is backing up from just before Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Locust. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast, a flood watch in effect for southeast Wisconsin. Tonight, more rain, a low of 47. Tomorrow, chance for storms again, a high of 61. Friday, rain at night, a high of 77. Saturday, you got it, rainy, a high of 60. Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 48. Happy New Year! If you live in Nepal, it's New Year today. They celebrate New Year in April. They're on a different calendar. They're on a calendar called the Bikram Sambat calendar. Check this out. Because of the calendar they're on, they actually say that it's the year 2083. I can't even wrap my head around this. Their system is 56 years and 8 months ahead of the Gregorian calendar, which all the rest of us use. They literally say it's 2083.
Wow.
Despite all the countries around them and in the rest of the world saying it's 2026.
So I would be 98 years old if that was in our calendar.
Yeah, you look really good for 98. I mean, incredible. You look barely like you're barely 40. A lot older than that. They say it's 2083 there today. This is a very unique country. They also run on a time zone that's 5 hours and 45 minutes off of Universal Time.
What?
Yeah. They're 45 minutes offset rather than an hour. Their flag is the only national flag in the world that's not a rectangle or a square. It consists of 2 stacked triangles. Nobody in Nepal tells these folks what to do. Wow. They're doing things their own way. Happy New Year, Nepal. It's 5:17.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
It's Tuesday in Milwaukee. I've worn a parka, crop top, and rain poncho since breakfast.
Our weather has commitment issues, Tracy. It's bipolar with a side of, are you kidding me?
If your heating and cooling system is also confused, you're in luck.
At Capital, we're giving you year-round comfort for the price of one season. Buy a furnace, we'll give you an AC for free.
You heard him. Turn that burr into ah and tell that Milwaukee weather to move on.
Call CapitalCares.com.
Who's hungry? Lake Geneva Restaurant Week is back April 18th through the 26th, and you're invited. For 9 delicious days, dozens of the area's top spots roll out special breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus packed with flavor and price to impress. Whether you're craving a cozy cafe vibe or a night of upscale dining, this is your chance to explore it all. Dig into participating restaurants, menus, and all the mouthwatering details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers. Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Hey, John and Julia with you. Wanted to share something from the morning show. Vince Vitrano had the chance to talk to Mandela Barnes about Barnes' claim that he could unilaterally make sure that energy rates were frozen. Check this out.
I called former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes' promise to, if elected governor, freeze energy rates, quote, objectively an empty, if not impossible, promise. I also said of the former Lieutenant Governor, candidate for governor, there may be other planks in the Barnes platform that are attractive to you. Fine, I'm not telling you not to vote for him. I am saying don't let this idea that the governor can freeze your utility rates be the reason, because it doesn't work like that. I stand by what I said. However, former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes joins me now on Wisconsin's Morning News. Sir, your campaign reached out to me, said you wanted the opportunity to, quote, correct the record. Fair enough. Tell me what I got wrong.
Hey, well, first of all, grateful that we can even have this discussion, because too many conversations don't happen like this. And, you know, you disagree with something that you thought was a little bit off, and we're having a chance to discuss it. And that's how it should be. And I will say we have a broken system. And I know you tell people don't vote for me based on that campaign plank alone. What I am saying is that we recognize a completely broken system. And this is one part of it that needs to be fixed. It is absolutely outrageous how utility rates have increased. Since 2020, it's been a 50% increase in utility costs. People are heating their homes at the same level. People are using the same exact appliances. In fact, many people are using more efficient appliances and still are paying even more money. It feels like it's no way out for folks. And at the same time, we've seen wild executive bonuses. We've seen CEO pay go from $4 million to $12 million. It is unacceptable to ask regular, hardworking people who are being squeezed every other step of the way to pay more for insurance, or excuse me, to pay more for utility costs, while at the same time, it is essentially subsidizing lifestyles of the most wealthy people in this country.
Well,
If
I
people
bet
are
you,
gonna-
I'm
if
sorry
you-
to interrupt
yeah,
you,
no,
sir,
you're
but
fine.
I bet you'll find a lot of agreement with that. I disagree with virtually nothing you just said. I don't want to pay a dime more for my air conditioner than anybody else does. But let's get to the teeth of it. I cited as one reason that it's a promise that you can't make if you're elected governor because the governor doesn't directly control those rates. So explain again how you would intend to keep that promise if elected.
Absolutely. And I will say, then in 2017, there was a 2-year rate freeze. And what I will also add is that we need independent public service commissioners. What is a bigger part of this broken system that I continue to talk about is the revolving door that allows PSC commissioners to go on to become utility executives, cashing in that check at the end of the day. It's the same problem we have with members of Congress going on to become lobbyists. And that has impacted decision making. And our public service commissioners need to put the people first, the needs of the people first. That's what real independence is. Not caving to an industry that they are looking to be a part of once they get out or are done with their service. This is the problem. So appointing those public service commissioners who have demonstrated and who will absolutely maintain independence when coming up with, the decision to or to not increase rates.
But would you ask them for a commitment to not raise rates?
Well, these are people who I would look to appoint are those who have already demonstrated a commitment. And we're not just bringing on random people to the commission.
But would you make them promise? I guess?
I want to have people who have consistently advocated in the public interest prior to even considering being a part of the public service commissioner or the public service commission to be a part of it.
Former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, candidate for governor, is with us this morning. Another point I'll make, as I pointed it out, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, which endorsed you in 2022 for your Senate campaign, so it's not their position to hammer on you, but they did cite multiple experts who questioned whether it's a promise that you could fulfill as governor, or even if you could, whether it's a good idea to suggest we have to freeze the rates because there are things we don't know. What if energy prices for the raw materials for power plants go up? It costs a lot, even for renewables, to build solar arrays and to build windmills. How can you guarantee that and still make sure that we have growth in Wisconsin?
Well, let me say this first, because it is sort of wild that the concept of freezing the rates and capping executive pay and closing a revolving door for public service commissioners is more admonished than the fact that energy rates have gone up 50%. Like, this is the real problem.
You'd rather having us focus on the latter.
It just speaks to the bigger problem that we have and why we have this system of haves and have-nots, why it's so top and bottom. When I travel across the state, people are less concerned about left and right politics as top and bottom. And so what I will say is I do completely understand the need for capital costs, upgrading our grid, and having the most stable infrastructure when it comes to energy generation and energy delivery. Completely get that. At the same time, if we're asking for people to pay more, shouldn't we be asking a person whose salary went from $4 million to $12 million to also take a little bit of that hit? Shouldn't we also be asking the folks who have received six-figure bonuses to also feel some of that pain? I think that should be shared by everybody. And the problem also is when you have a publicly traded utility company, the interest is in that of the shareholder and not the ratepayer. And people are paying, again, like I said, more and more for everything. And we'll never get out of this affordability crisis if we keep making excuses for the folks who've gotten over on all of us and continue to do so.
I want to nail you down on a couple of things. So is it 3 appointments that the governor makes to the Public Service Commission?
Yeah, well, it just depends on the term, but they're 6-year terms. And yeah.
So let's say you did get 3 nominees that you would like to put forward. How are you sure you even get them through the Senate? Say, for example, if that remains in Republican hands.
Yeah, for sure. But look, there are folks in Republican districts who are paying more and more for utility or paying more for energy costs. Mm-hmm. You have Republicans who are starting to at least talk about energy costs. Okay. And if they are serious about actually addressing energy costs, it will be in their interest to hold commissioners accountable as well, to not let these rates continue to get out of hand the way that they are. If you're serious about lowering costs, prove it. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, whatever party you represent, whatever party, it got you to where you are. If you're serious about the affordability crisis, the rubber is going to meet the road at one point. You're going to have a chance to make the decision on who's controlling utility rates or not.
Mandela Barnes on Wisconsin's Morning News. Vince Vitrano, great interview, talking about what he can and cannot do to freeze rates. By the way, we go in depth on the rate request recently asked for by We Energies on April 21st from 3 to 4. Full show booked up, including in the studio a debate between We Energies and a group that thinks the rates aren't a great idea. That is on the 21st. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Mostly green today. The NASDAQ up 376. The S&P up 55. The Dow did drop 72 points. Know the difference with Annex.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. Joining us today, Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about the insurance broker landscape, how it's changing. What else have you seen in the market today?
Thank you, Vince. As brokers and agents continue to consolidate, we've seen more of the services your broker should be providing being pulled back or centralized in other cities.
So what are the important insurance services that folks should be focused on?
Claims advocacy and support should be number one. Efficient and effective claim service is really what you're purchasing. You hope to never need to file a claim, but when your agent has local, knowledgeable claim personnel with decades of experience to guide you through the process, that can be invaluable. Loss prevention services are also important. Preventing losses is the easiest way to control your cost of insurance. While some services can be done via technology, we feel in many cases an in-person evaluation and assessment leads to the best outcome.
A lot of good info there, Jeff. How does R&R excel in service to their clients?
Simply put, Vince, we hire the industry's best talent. Year after year, they positively impact so many of our clients, and they're right here in Wisconsin.
This sounds like the framework for over 50 years of success at R&R Insurance.
It is, Vince. The R&R Insurance business model is built on adding value to our clients. Our family ownership model allows us to be nimble and flexible in today's market. We invest heavily in training and developing our employees. R&R Insurance represents 50 years with the same name on the door, consistent investment in the business, and always being there to guide our clients. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, we'd love to speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story. Tuesday's tornado total climbs to 4.
I'm Julia Fellow. Another state senator is stepping down.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, and on the ramp from 794 westbound to 4394 southbound in the Marquette, we have the left shoulder blocked with a crash. So watch out for that. That's going to tighten things up a little bit through that area. It's still going to be slow anyway from just south of Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high rise. Westbound 94 slowing down 25th Street all the way to Hawley Road, back on the brakes just west of Sunny Slope Road all the way to Calhoun. On the eastbound side, we got backups from Highway F past Barker Road. Back on the brakes from 84th all the way through to about 35th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A flood warning is in effect for the Rock River in Dodge and Jefferson counties, and also in Kenosha County, the Milwaukee River near Cedarburg, and the rest of southeast Wisconsin under flood watch. Up to an inch possible of rain tonight, a low of 50.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, the total is now 4 confirmed tornadoes in Wisconsin last night. The strongest was an EF2 tornado that touched down in Lisbon with winds of 120 miles per hour. It was on the ground for 6 minutes. 2 EF1 tornadoes were confirmed. One southwest of Endeavor in Marquette County, another southwest of East Troy. An EF0 tornado was confirmed south of Beaver Dam. Governor Tony Evers has just declared a state of emergency in response to the severe weather.
With rain expected to continue through the week, Milwaukee's water reclamation system will once again be tested.
By Wednesday morning, the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District's Jones Island facility was already over capacity, with the Deep Tunnel and South Shore facilities at more than 3/4 full. Additionally, MMSD is investigating 5 sewer overflows centered around areas that saw much of Tuesday night's rain. A combined sewer overflow dumping untreated water into Lake Michigan hasn't been ordered yet. The last overflow, following August's historic flooding, saw a record 5+ billion gallons of wastewater sent out of the system. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Statewide tornado drills have been called off for tomorrow.
Wisconsin Emergency Management is canceling the annual drills in light of Tuesday night's severe weather. The agency says resources are already stretched thin, working on damage assessments and recovery efforts, and that holding the drills would add even more strain to emergency responses. The drills will not be rescheduled this year. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The U.S. Navy blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is halfway through its third day, and it's being tested. News Nation's Jessica Cartelia.
U.S. Central Command, meanwhile, says an Iranian-flagged cargo ship tried to evade the U.S. blockade in the strait. They had to be redirected. Now that ship is headed back to Iran. The U.S. Navy has reportedly intercepted 10 different tankers trying to leave Iran, ordering those tankers to then turn back and re-navigate. But despite this show of force, some ships, including Chinese tankers, are still able to move through the strait.
Fallout on Capitol Hill's intensifying as 2 members of Congress resign amid sexual misconduct allegations. CBS's Natalie Brand.
Gonzalez and Swalwell stepped down this week, facing a bipartisan effort to expel them.
I know in talking to both Democrats and Republicans, they're just like, in so many words, time to take out the trash.
If it wouldn't have been for those resolutions that we were each filing, they wouldn't have resigned.
Gonzalez admitted to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide. Swalwell is facing allegations from multiple women, ranging from sending inappropriate pictures to sexual assault, which he denies.
The committee is expected to release its finding into Corey Mills soon.
Another Republican in the Wisconsin State Senate plans to step down.
Senator Jesse James says he'll retire at the end of his term and not seek re-election. He initially had plans to run against Democratic State Senator Jeff Smith to represent the 31st district in the western part of Wisconsin. But in a statement, James says the role came at a price and he wants to spend more time with family. He was elected to the state Senate in 2022 and before that served 2 terms in the Assembly. James is now the 5th Senate Republican deciding not to seek re-election this fall. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The NFL Draft begins 1 week from tomorrow in Pittsburgh. The Packers currently own 8 selections, but none in the first round. And the Brewers hope to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight in Game 2 against the Blue Jays. Coverage of tonight's game starts at 6:05 here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 5:35.
Everyone needs a plumber in their contacts list. And I've got yours, Vince Vitrano here. It's Horner Plumbing. We had a big job on the Vitrano home, needed to move the water hookups for the washer dryer and refrigerator, and we turned to the trusted experts for more than 50 years in Southeast Wisconsin, Horner Plumbing. CJ and Kaylee, they did a great job at the house. All the follow-up with Horner was amazing, great work, and outstanding customer service. Residential, commercial, and new construction, HornerPlumbing.com. Have it in your contact list because when it's a plumbing emergency, that is not the time you want to start your search. I've got your plumber. Full-service plumbing, water heater repairs and installs, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. Full-service plumbing. Free quotes and upfront pricing means no surprises. You want a deal? Tell them Vinny sent you, and Horner Plumbing will knock $50 off that first service. Get started now at Horner Plumbing. That's HornerPlumbing.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, we can see meteorologist Chief Brian Isnansky is hydrating. He's getting ready for another night, making sure. Niz, I got to tell you, I got home last night. I got down into my basement. I pulled in the driveway. The sirens were going off at 6:30 in Menominee Falls. I got down there, and I watched you for the next more than an hour.
I did, too.
Your little hook was right over my house that you were talking about, Menominee Falls. I want to thank you for the job you did, making sure everybody knew what they needed to do.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad it didn't, cause any too bad of wind damage in Menominee Falls. But you sure got your rain, didn't you? How much rain did you get?
That's a good question. I was going to ask you that. I don't know. We don't have a rain gauge, but it was spongy.
I got reports of 3 to 4 inches in Menominee Falls.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Wow.
Yeah. And to go along with some hail as well. It was one of those nights again last night where, I would be lying if I wouldn't say that, I clearly get animated and excited when I'm out there, but you got to control your emotions because you want to be calm. You want to be in command. You want people to not only trust you, but you don't want to scare anybody and stuff. And I truly believe really in every scenario has its own specific tone that it needs. You're going to hear, whether there are meteorologists in town here or other places, you're going to have certain meteorologists that are going to, every single scenario is the worst case scenario possible. And I'm not singling anybody out here, but I think it is equal. It is one of the most important things of my job is to make sure that I am setting the right proper tone, because if you do treat every possible tornado as an EF5, then when that EF5 comes and you're giving it the equal magnitude, people aren't as ready as they need to be. So I hope I'm able to cast that, and I'll definitely keep all the comments and everybody's feedback moving forward.
Oh, you certainly did. And I appreciate that you were giving us the good news throughout the entire process.
That's
of
important
this.
too. Yeah, I totally. I mean, I want everybody to respect the warnings. Keep stay in the basement with the tornado warning, stay in your safe spot. But if I am noticing a trend that looks good, I think that's almost equally as important. People want to know that they're going to be okay. I don't want to go from saying here comes a tornado and just keep saying the tornado's there. When I'm seeing, something, different, or we have our storm chaser vehicle on the storm and we're not seeing a touchdown with it. I want people to know that information, and I think that's very important.
All right, Niz, so more rain's on the way. Please let us know what's in store for tonight and then detail out the next couple of days.
Yeah, so tonight another round of severe storms. I think the overall magnitude and the overall setup isn't as strong as yesterday, but I do think some damaging wind is possible, along with some hail with these storms. Times out between, I would say, 7 o'clock-ish for our western spots, and then maybe around 9, 10 o'clock for Milwaukee with our next round of potential severe storms. And then scattered showers and storms through the night tonight. Heavy rain also a concern, because with already a super saturated ground, we could get another 1 to 2 inches of rain tonight. We could see flooding concerns again across southeastern Wisconsin. Scattered showers and storms possible on Thursday, especially in the morning, a high of 56, inland 64. Friday, partly cloudy, breezy, mild again, back up to 74. But we could have yet another round of rain and storms Friday night. Saturday, mostly sunny, 52. Cooler but dry. Sunday, partly cloudy and 47. I don't know. At this point, I'll take the cool weather if it means we get a dry few days.
Whew, you're right, Niz. All right, we'll stay in touch with the radar and your forecast. Thanks so much. Hope your night's not too busy tonight.
Yeah, I hope so too. Again, I don't anticipate it being as strong, but we'll be ready.
All right. It is 5:40 at WTMJ. Niz is sponsored by Infinity Exteriors, your local experts for roofing, siding, and window projects.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Experience an auto show like never before. The Milwaukee Auto Show hits the road with new dates and a new easy access, easy to park location. Clear your calendar. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. Whether shopping or just dreaming, you'll see sleek luxury cars to rugged trucks and everyday favorites. Hundreds of new vehicles. May 14th through 17th at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and Expo Center. AutoShowMilwaukee.com.
You know, you might think that just because your home's windows are leaking air, foggy, or even broken or cracked, that you need to replace your entire window. But I'm here to tell you that just isn't the case. I mean, if the framework of the window is intact and all that needs to be repaired is the glass, then a quick phone call over to Les's Glass can get you a verbal quote. Or we can send an estimator out to your home to show you just how much money we can save you versus replacing your entire window. We remove the old glass, install new glass, and voila! You virtually have a brand new window at a fraction of the cost of full window replacement, along with a full 10-year warranty against seal failure too. So give us a call, because I think we can save you a few bucks. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Ready for the water? Stop into MW Marine and check out their showroom featuring the 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Lock in a great deal early so when summer hits, you're already launching, not waiting. Plus, full boat service and storage. They'll take top-notch care of your rig and get you on the water. MW Marine, your summer starts here.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
In the studio with the co-directors of the new documentary simply titled Uke.
It's combining my two great loves of baseball and dreaming of being a baseball player someday and becoming a filmmaker, and somehow the two worlds have collided.
Now that they know what he was going through, it'll just make his fans love him even more.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Let's get you where you need to safely with Debbie Lozic at 544.
An accident on 894 eastbound right at Loomis has the right lane blocked, so that's going to tie things up. We got backups all the way back through the Hale interchange, all the way up to Beloit Road. Also, southbound 43, watch for backups from Keefe all the way down through the Marquette interchange to the high-rise bridge. We do have an accident on the ramp from 794 westbound to 4394 southbound, off on the left shoulder there. Eastbound 94 backing up from 76th Street all the way to 35th, westbound from just before 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Hey, want to bring in our friend Jason Wilde, 9 a.m. to noon, Wilde and Tausch, great show, ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, thanks for being with us.
Who is this?
Hi, Jason.
Who is this?
I don't recognize these voices at all.
We miss you.
Great
It's good to
be
have
with
you
guys.
on.
Yeah, I was glad to see your text, John. What's going on? What can I do for you guys?
Hey, we want to talk mental health in the NFL and how the NFL is taking this head on. To get into the conversation, though, we want to ask you a couple baseball questions because it ties into this. It's booing at the Brewers game last night. Trevor McGill blows a save, has a rough outing, and gets booed at American Family Field. Here's what manager Pat Murphy had to say.
For them to be booing him up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure. We have the great fans. But let's remind them of that. Are they okay to be disappointed? But sometimes young men go through tough stuff. I was disappointed in that those people wouldn't support him when he's going through that stuff.
You know professional athletes better than the rest of us, Jason, because for a living you talk to them and you interact with them and you build relationships with them. When players are getting booed, when players know they're already having a tough time and not doing a good job that particular day, how tough is the mental health part of it when they need to deal with guys who usually cheer for them turning on them?
Yeah, it's first of all, you have to remember that as a reporter, I've lost my fan gene, right?
Yep.
Like when I was 10 years old and the Brewers went to the World Series in 1982, I was crying my eyes out when Gorman Thomas struck out for the final out of Game 7. When the Packers played the Washington Redskins at the time in 1983, it was the first time I got to stay up for Monday Night Football, and it was the greatest Monday Night Football game ever, and that was a big deal to me. But somewhere along the way, probably around 1991, when I started when I was a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin as a reporter, it gradually dissipated. Now, what I would say about professional athletes is each of them probably respond differently, right? Just like you, with all the success you've had, the two of you, maybe criticism of the show or whatever else hits you differently and you're able to brush it off or you take it to heart, whatever it might be. I think that's true of athletes too. Some will take that booing as motivation, right? I'm going to show these people. Others, it could have a negative effect. Certainly when you're already struggling. My only point that I would say, and I'm not here to tell fans how to behave, it's not my job, but I very rarely can think of an instance where booing a player is constructive and helpful. I mean, obviously I've done a lot of coaching in my day, mostly with young people, but I've always thought that delivering criticism, you have to make sure you do it in a constructive way that's helping them. It's not out of frustration or it's not out of anger, because I don't think you're helping them develop that way. These guys are obviously full-formed athletes, full-formed adults, but that doesn't mean they don't have feelings. And I just don't see how that helps Trevor McGill be more effective. He knows he's screwed up. He knows he's not pitching well. But that, again, that's from the clinical perspective of a reporter and not the emotional perspective of a fan, which, of course, is short for fanatic.
Yeah, exactly. Going to the NBA, Michael Jordan was just interviewed, and he was talking about how he wanted to, especially with the Knicks games at Madison Square Garden, he wanted to get the fans out of the game immediately. Now, these are your own fans. And even Giannis went through this where they were getting booed when they were down, what, was it more than 30 points? And then he started booing
Giannis
them back.
booed them back.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Jason, I guess to your point and Julia's point, if a guy doesn't run out a ground ball, then you can more easily make the case to boo him.
Effort.
If a guy breaks the bat over his knee after he strikes out and then flips off the crowd, you can make that case. But if the guy is struggling, he's already hanging his head. He's already trying to do his best.
You're standing in the middle of the entire stadium. Oh.
It's just, I think
the man
Murph
in
said
the
it.
arena.
Yeah.
And look, and again, it's a totally different thing when, to Julia's point about Jordan wanting to shut the fans up, like he took motivation from that. I mean, he tells the story about in Utah, some of the things that were said to him during those finals. Like, yeah, for sure, that's a different kettle of fish. That is motivation. When it's your own people, it is harder. But again, I'm not saying we need to start a GoFundMe page for Trevor McGill's feelings, because he is a professional and he is handsomely paid. I think one of the biggest things that I try to do in my job, though, is try to remind people that listen to me talk or read what I write or see me on television, is that these are real people too, right? These are real human beings. That I know they have helmets on. You don't see their faces often in the case of NFL players, but these guys feel the same things. And I get a very unique ability to get to know them as people because I see them every day. And, yesterday the tailgate tour leaves and, Randall Cobb is there. James Jones is there. Two guys that I loved covering. And, they at least they acted like they were excited to see me, right? Like we built a human connection. That didn't mean that if Randall Cobb or James Jones dropped a critical pass late in the game, I was going to ignore that it happened. I'm paid to ask the difficult question, but what I've always tried to do is ask it in a humane way, understanding what they're feeling, but also understanding that I have a job to do.
We have Jason Wilde on the Talk and Text line with us. Now, the NFL is requiring next season full-time mental health professionals at every team facility. Do you think that situations like these in other sports is a great example of why that needs to happen in the NFL?
Well, I mean, first of all, and I know that the Packers already have someone in that role, and they believe that it's really important to do that. And we can talk about him in a second, but kind of the overarching part of this, to me anyway, is you've had two players now that were in the NFL or on the precipice of it commit suicide in recent months, right? The guy from the Cowboys and then the Vikings player. I mean, this is, this is a reality. This kind of stuff does impact real human beings again. And so I don't think it's noteworthy that they've mandated it. I think it's noteworthy that it took them this long to mandate it. Like, we've been talking about the importance of mental health for a really long time. And it's about time that the NFL got around to making sure that they're proactive about it. Now, the Packers team, I think his title is the Director of Performance Psychology and Behavior, or something to that effect. His name is Dr. Chris Carr. And he's not allowed to be interviewed by us, but he and I have had a number of conversations in the locker room. He knows that I have young athletes and I've coached a lot, and he's a fascinating guy to talk to. He is certainly there to help guys through their difficult moments, whether they're struggling with performance or struggling with something else, whatever it may be. And if you talk to guys on this team, they all swear by him. Like, he holds little workshops where you're welcome to come. You're not required to come. He has one-on-one meetings all the time with guys. I know Josh Jacobs is one of the players that has really talked about how valuable he has been as a resource. So, again, these guys are under immense pressure. This is not even getting into the concussions in the NFL and how those may affect your thinking and the way they may affect the anatomy of your brain. So I think this is a long time coming, and I'm glad that the NFL is finally taking greater steps toward doing this.
Jason Wilde with us on WTMJ. Draft is coming up in 8 days, Jason. We don't know if they'll draft for need necessarily, but what are the Packers' biggest needs, do you believe?
Well, they need more picks, for one, John.
Yeah.
They don't have a first-round pick, obviously, this year or next year after the Micah Parsons trade, and I don't think anybody would say that was a mistake given the production they got from him before he tore his ACL. But they definitely have wanted to accumulate more picks because, to your point, they do have a lot of needs. I'm working on my position-by-position analysis of where each position is, and they need a backup quarterback. They need another running back to complement Josh Jacobs. They've traded one wide receiver and lost another one in free agency. They're not as deep as they were when we were talking about how many great receivers they thought they had. They need help at tight end behind Tucker Kraft. Their offensive line has zero depth right now. So the good news is they can probably take the best player available every time they pick and most likely fill a need because they got tons of them on defense as well.
How's Micah doing?
He's good. He's, of course, guys, when they're rehabbing, you know what they're always going to say, right? Oh, doctors tell me I'm ahead of schedule, right? That's the famous line. Nobody ever says, yeah, they're telling me I'm about 6 weeks behind schedule. I'm not where they wanted me to be. I don't think, he had said that he did not set the first game of the season as his goal because he suffered the injury on December 14th, and it took a while for them to do the surgery. His goal is to play before the end of the month of September, and I think that sounds, based on the conversations I've had, it sounds like a realistic timeline.
ESPN's Jason Wilde, always great. Jason, thank you so much.
I look forward to your next text, John. All right, take care, everybody. Be good.
You too. All right, at 5:55, we want to let you know about some news that we just got from Governor Tony Evers. He has declared a state of emergency after the severe storms hit our state yesterday, with more bad weather expected tonight. He says the focus now is getting help to affected communities quickly. You can keep it here on WTMJ. You can download our WTMJ mobile app, where you'll get notifications sent right to your phone, and you can stream us live wherever you are. It's 5:56 on WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The Medical College of Wisconsin plans to open its first student